Robberies, gig economy, news channel, gig economy, news channel, hot facts with Robert Reese. Hot facts with Robert Reese. Hot facts, hot facts, hot facts. 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 Hey, with Robert Reese. Come and get them hot facts. Hot facts. Hot facts. Robert Reese. Gig economy. News channel. Hot facts. With Robert Reese. Sit back, relax, and listen. Come on. Get these hot facts. K Reese 007 for Hot Facts with Robert Reese. Thank you for tuning in. Hot facts, hot facts. Hot facts with Robert Reese. With Robert Reese. Come and get them hot facts with Robert Reese. Come and get them hot facts with Robert Reese. Come and get them hot facts with Robert Reese.
Give me one quick second here. What is happening? All right, can you guys see me?
Robert Reese. Come and get them hot facts with Robert Reese. Hot facts. Come and get them hot facts. Get them hot facts with Robert Reese. Come and get them hot facts. Come and get them hot facts. Come and get them hot facts.
All right. Hopefully the connection and everything is weird. If you guys out there can hear me, can you leave a thumbs up in the comments section so I know that you guys can hear me all the way? Can you go ahead and leave me with a thumbs up? I see Robert Bradley in the house. Jeff is backstage. I see him. I'm going to pull him on up. Matthew is there. Thumbs up. Thank you, Matthew. Matthew is there. Very, 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 very great supporter. And man, I welcome you to Hot Facts, and you've been doing a great job. And keep up the good work. People, you see the title here. You see what it is. I dubbed this the interview of the year. You know what? Let me bring him up on stage first. Let me bring him up on stage. Thank you, TFT. Thank you, TFT. That's my deputy, people. That's TFT. You guys can ask him what TFT stands for. I'm not going to do it. All right, let me go ahead and bring Jeff up on stage. Here he is. Let me see. Did I hit after stream? Is he there? Okay, Jeff is there. Let me see. I got my assistant, people. You got to have an assistant. I don't care who you are.
Oh, man, I wish I had an assistant.
My assistant is my wife. You know what I mean? So, I can do slave labor sometime. Oh, my goodness. I had to throw that one in because of you already know being a slave to the game. People, I dubbed this the interview of the year. For those of you who do not know, my name is Hot Facts with Robert Reese. I am the official news channel of the gig economy. And we have had some things happening over the past, I would say, just about 2 years in the whole gig world, where it seemed like one thing was one way, and then, people got hit with the shell shock that it was actually going in a they were actually doing something else, doing the opposite. So there were a few things that happened on bringing everything out from below the dirt, and this gentleman right here is one of the main, I would say, because he writes books. He's one of the main characters in this whole story when it comes to the gig world. I am happy that I am able to conduct this interview. I wanted to conduct this interview specifically for the gig world, just so that you guys know that when people invite people on other panels and you want to see them do an interview and they get up there and they cannot speak their mind and explain themselves and everything like that, it turns into a one-sided like interrogation, and the person is never even allowed to say what they have to say. Here on Hot Facts, since I am the official news channel of the gig world, I do interviews. And in interviews, people, I ask questions. I ask questions that there are people out there that may want to ask and they never get a chance to ask these questions. Me, myself, I say the best way to get the answers is to sit down and ask the person themselves, go straight to the horse's mouth. So that's what I do. That's what I operate. Now, this man is Jeff Thomas Black. This man is very, very educated. He knows what he's talking about. He's been a dasher, a gig worker. He's put his time in doing that. He's put in his activist time in. He's a civil activist, everything else like that. He stands up for his rights. He shows people how to do it and to speak your mind. He's a person that puts his own energy where he sees fit. This is what I would say, one of the biggest influencers as of right now in the gig world that anyone can have in their own community, but we have him here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jeff Thomas Black. Go ahead and give him a round of applause if you can. How you doing, man? How you doing? Is he there? Can you hear me? Jeff, did he hit the mute button? Unmute yourself, Jeff. Let me see. I can't hear you. Let me see. It shows that you're muted. Let me see. Let me hit my button. If I hit my button, it might jack it up, though. Let me see. Let me hit this button right here. You are on my end. It says, let me hit that. Can you hear yourself? No camera. Let me see. Let me see. Nope. I have him off of mute. So now let me hit here. I unmuted him. Jeff will be right back, people. He is getting himself situated. This is the interview of the year, people. Thank you, Glitch Dash, for being here. People, next week, also, Thomas Schubeck Industries. People, while Jeff is getting situated, Thomas Schubeck Industries, next week, Friday, next week, people, I'll let you know the time. The exclusive interview with Glitch Dash is this upcoming Friday also. So stay tuned, people. Stay tuned. The questions that need to be asked will be asked, and there will be no interruption from weird people. That is one thing we will not have, is weird people messing us up. Woo-wee, I feel good about this, people. I feel so good about this. Let's see, Jeff should be there. Let me see. Is Jeff on the screen? Let me see.
Check. Can anybody hear me?
There he is. I can hear you. You are good. I can hear you.
Oh man, that's a good thing for this. What is it? Sunday? It's Sunday, right?
Sunday, yes.
So, Robert, I
Get
want
some
to say,
motivation, some inspiration up in here.
well, yeah, you're my inspiration up in here. So I want to just say something. I mean, first of all, up late last night watching the combination of a meltdown of the dark side and great broadcasting from the people that value truth, integrity, and transparency. It was a great night, and I was exhausted. And you and I, for the first time, full disclosure, if you like. We shared phone numbers for the first time last night. You and I have never, ever had, other than in the messages of YouTube or in the chat of YouTube, responses, whatever you call it on YouTube, we've never had any dialogue. So I'm glad that we have our personal phone numbers now. It's an honor to talk to you. And as I told you, I was really tired last night. We were going to talk outside, and I was just too tired and too entertained by all the work that everybody was doing. But I woke up this morning. You drugged myself out of bed. Then I saw George and Wheezy dancing from Robert Reese, which to my mind is the YouTube short of the year. Not only did I cry laughing, but the people that I'm around cried laughing as well. In fact, I'm being told that is now being sent to Africa by some of my friends. So well done, Robert Reese. That was the hit of the morning. So that being stated,
thank you.
You may notice. Do you notice anything about where I am right now, Robert? Does it look any different from my other live broadcasts that you've seen?
You're in the kitchen, huh?
No, I'm in a garage. I'm in a garage in a new city, as a matter of fact.
Oh, no. I see a refrigerator. So first thing I think is kitchen.
Yeah. Go see, this is the garage refrigerator, right? Yeah. But yeah, so I'm in a new city. I left Portland, Oregon, because it was clear to me that some nefarious sources were attempting to not only dox, but find me. They were pretty obvious about that. And I really don't have a problem with that at all, except I tend to be around other people like other human beings. And I don't want, if you're ever going to find me, you need to find me alone. You don't need to find me around anybody that might get hurt. So I'm in a new city right now, Robert, because when you do this kind of work with the type of scumbaggery and criminal element and the organized crime that we're facing right here, it's not a joke. This ain't no Hollywood movie. We may be entertained. I'm entertained. I laugh my ass off, right? I laugh at everything, including the concept of my own death, because, I'm 55 years old. I'm more than half dead already. I ain't that worried about it. Right. So I'm going to make a little trouble while I'm here, and we call that good trouble in the civil rights community, right? When people either want me to go away permanently or temporarily, that just means we're winning. And when I say we, that means we, because I don't give a shit about myself. I have never made a penny off civil rights. I have stood with families of victims of police murder. I've stood with victims of police hate and terror. I have stood with immigrants that have been locked away unjustly just for trying to find a safe place to lay their head and to maybe raise their children. And so now here we are today with a labor revolution in which the most vulnerable workers of the world have been lied to and fleeced. And the criminal element wants you to believe that it's about people, that it's about loser psychopaths like Pedro Bot, Charles Manson, Santiago, or Hannibal is Thirsty, or any of these giant pieces of shit, Steve Johnson, Rideshare Rodeo, Dad Dash. We're going to talk about Dad Dash. I know him as Steve Askin. God knows what his real name is. Who knows who these bad actors are? But Dad Dash flipped yesterday, and Dad Dash, if you know what I mean, Robert, is kind of a special fucking case. So anyway, I want to let you really show, but this is a very special time, and I want you to know, like, I take this so seriously that I did the what's the Better Call Saul? I have multiple times in my life packed up my entire possessions, which I have very few of. They all fit in my car, and moved to a new city within 2 hours. So that's what I did yesterday with my time for you, because you know what? I made myself this target by choice. Do you know that? Yeah, you can call me crazy if you want, but I'm crazy like a guy that wants you to win. I don't give a fuck what happens to me. I ain't scared of nobody. There ain't nothing you can do to me. You don't got any money on me. I don't got any money on me. All I got is debt and blood. Which one you want? Which one you want? The debt or the blood? You can have the debt. You can't have my blood. You got to work for that. Anyway, so this is a serious, serious issue, Robert. And what you have is you have trolls out there trying to make stupid people think that this is some kind of a comical trolling of their cult leader Pedro Charles Manson Santiago, right? They're trying to make light of it. Oh, criminal charges are funny. Gang stalking is funny. Homophobia and hate speech is funny. That's satire. Dad Dash turns into, goes from whatever the character goes from Anakin Skywalker to Darth Vader overnight. And, that's supposed to be entertaining. Well, he turns into before our very eyes, a psychopath. I mean, I've known this guy for over a year, and the fucking guy by the time I left Portland and got to my new residence in a new city away from everybody that I love, because these people are fucking psychopaths. By the time I got to the new city where I'm living now, until further notice, which is an undisclosed city in an undisclosed location, between that time, I got there and it's like everybody had videos about Dad Dash. I'm like, what's up with old Mr. Neutral Steve? Mr. Neutral Steve is
Wait, now before we get all the way into that, people, look, this is how much this is how much energy it is. This is why, people, I told you guys the interview of the year. Do you see all the energy already? It's the Super Bowl. They kicked that ball. He ready to run it back right now. He ready to stiff arm you. He's ready to go ahead and get in there. Now you see what he's saying. He's doing things for the people and trying to help out. Our first question for you is, so, there's some people on my side, I have family and friends who like to watch me also. They may not know who you are. I want to tap into the activist side first, because that's going to people, that's going to allow you to get the passion that he has. You got to understand this part of the man first. When did you start becoming an activist? And more importantly, what made you want to become a civil rights activist?
Wow. I guess I was born one. I grew up in places that had very few people of color, but the ones that there were tended to be my friends. I'm an anti-bully, and I always have been. That's just kind of how I was born. I lived in Anchorage, Alaska, and Palo Alto, California. In Anchorage, we were there in 1973, 74. I went to Wonder Park Elementary School in South Anchorage, Alaska, and so that was kind of cool because we had, skating rink outside and a hockey rink outside. It was a neat place to be a kid in 1973, and my dad worked on the pipeline up there. But this was a rough place, my friend. This was a whole bunch of Texas oil workers that just ended up in Alaska, and for fun, their kids punched each other's teeth out. That's what we did. So 73, Anchorage, Alaska is a pretty fucking entertaining place. I learned to be a little bit tough, right? I learned that basically you have to fight for your life, because this was 1973. I didn't walk backwards in the snow to school when I was 5 years old, but I walked in the snow to school. Okay, so it weren't backwards, but I made it, and I made it home, and I made a little trouble at this school too. When I didn't like how they treated people, I refused to go. I went on a little personal strike. I'm like, fuck these guys, I'm not going. And everybody's like, you got to go to school. I'm like, no, I don't. And that was my first civil rights standoff. I think was at 5. So
okay.
Later on, interestingly, one of the first people that one of the first women I loved in my life was a gal that I met. I was a lead trumpet player, a very successful musician at many levels. But in high school, I would go to the band camps. You've seen movies about band camps. They are. I've never been involved myself with flutes because I was more of a trumpet player. But I can tell you, band camps are a good time. I had some of the best times of my life at band camp. And I fell in love with a young lady named Sheila, whose mother was a white blonde woman and whose father was a black African man. And so that was very educational for me. Let's see, that was 1982, maybe 1983.
That's when I was born.
Very educational around a very racist city of Salem, Oregon. Omelas is a different story, Robert. You know that story. From Ursula Le Guin.
Yes, I'm going to ask you about that too. I'm going to ask you about that later on. So yeah. Keep going.
So anyway, that was the city I was born in too, right? Wild. So when my girlfriend, who we kept dating through the school year, right? This was really my first love, and we've even met within the last few years just to say hi to each other. We've always remained special in each other's lives. And she's a wonderful person. She ended up being pretty much a great civil rights leader in the state of Washington. So anyway, that was very educational for me as a young man to go out to get a snack in Salem, Oregon with my girlfriend who came down from Portland. She was older than me, so she could drive, and seeing the way we were looked at and treated. And so, Sheila and I used to talk about civil rights and our goals and what we want to do. And that was something that I wanted to do even then, Robert. And I went to college at University of Oregon and enjoyed that, drank and partied a lot my first year. I never smoked any pot. I didn't smoke pot until I was almost 40 because I was raising kids and I was an athlete and all that kind of stuff. People think I'm a pothead now, but no, I'm just an old man. I mean, old men can do whatever the fuck we want. I raised my family. I did everything. I didn't smoke pot when I was raising my kids and working in the corporate world. I didn't have no time for those shenanigans. Plus, it was illegal in those days. It's not illegal anymore. I ain't no criminal. I ain't got no criminal record. Now, I've been arrested a few times, but that's called good trouble. You guys like to out me for being arrested, but yeah, you can't do that because I'm a public guy. The FBI has already been through my phone, man. If there was something they could put me in jail for, I'd be in jail. You fuckers are barking up the wrong tree. So Robert, I don't want to go. I want to shorten the story. So let's see. So I worked in the corporate world, raised my family, pretty standard stuff, really. I was not a civil rights activist while I was raising young kids. I did not golf. I did not have hobbies. I didn't join a bunch of shit. I traveled and worked, and I was home with my kids and my wife. That's it. That's all I did. I was in the global software development business. You can see my public resume on LinkedIn. My name's Jeff Thomas Black. Everywhere I am, right? So you can see the companies I worked for and where I've been. You can see that I worked for Mentor Graphics, which was the initial electronic design automation company that ironically makes it possible to do what we're doing right now. They designed the first printed boards and circuits, and that's a bunch of fucking rocket scientists. And I am no rocket scientist, but I'm a pretty good translator. So that's where I built my translation skills, Robert, because I'm a meathead, but I work with really smart people and I'm able to translate the really smart people stuff into stuff that regular people can understand because I actually care about regular people. It's all about caring, right? You're good at what you care. If you care about something, you'll be good at it. And since I care about communicating to regular people like a regular person, because I am a regular person, that's what I do. And that's what I did in the corporate world too. Now, as you might guess, in the corporate world, it made me fairly unpopular because I didn't do things like allow sexual harassment and fraud and lying and stuff like that. I called bullshit. So I'm the no fun guy. I've always been the no fun guy. So if you think the first time that anybody called me the no fun guy is Pedro and Hannibal is Thirsty and Dad Dash and Steve Rideshare Rodeo, the fucking puppy dog of the dipshit community, in Colorado, what a fucking piece of shit that guy is. Oh my God, he flipped this week too. This is great, man. Everybody is showing their true colors. And it's a wonder, right? This is a miracle for our world, truly, that the evil people are coming out and showing their true colors as a group, because it's so easy for any thinking person to spot, because they don't talk like me. They don't talk like Robert. They don't talk in logical streams of facts and truth and dates and names. They just call people gay and use hate speech and say that, I built you. I made you, Robert, because I'm the king. I'm the king, Robert. I'm the king. These psychopaths, man, their ego is dripping all over the place and they think they're winning, man. They actually think they're winning. Now, this is something I've faced a lot, right? Because I've faced a lot of evil. This is what I do, right? I take on fraud and evil and wherever I am. It's just how my life turned out. I didn't choose it. It chose me, I'm afraid. So, just like Dad Dash chose me, as a matter of fact. I mean, just like Steve Johnson chose me. Many people have chosen me because of what I do. And when they choose me, they follow me for a while. But isn't it interesting after they choose me and follow me for a while that then they flip? And so you wonder, like, how does that happen? How does that happen that I have text messages for a year with somebody being one person, and then on another day they flip and they act like they never knew me? But I have text messages for a year, Robert. Fucking text messages daily for a year to the people that leak this shit to me and then pretend they don't know. So God, this shit's funny. And by the way, Robert, I want to make a final statement on that. Just very quick note. I never ever leak confidential sources unless they flip on me and lie about details. So that's why I leak that Dad Dash is my confidential source for the leak last night, because he flipped and turned into Darth Bet on used bitch.
We're gonna get into that. No. We're gonna get into that. Don't give the people
nothing right now. No, you're gonna have your own segment. You're gonna have a segment for that, and you can and you can
I'm sorry, but
you can.
So this is the
Go
toughest
ahead.
thing about this book and project, Robert, is that it's everywhere, right? It's like trying to bottle lightning. No matter what direction I go, there's some other crazy fucking element, whether it's corporate or Darth Bet on you or some new person or some gang stalkers from some other YouTube. There's always somebody trying to throw a monkey wrench into this thing, trying to dox me, trying to find where my adult children might live, or whatever the fuck they're doing, right? Insane people. So the final steps of my civil rights, once I raised my kids and everything, I exposed some corporate fraud. That did not go well for them or me, because exposing corporate fraud makes you a huge target, and it ended my corporate career. Ending my corporate career just made me a consultant. So I worked independently as a consultant. You can see that I have my own consulting company for the last 20 years or whatever the fuck, for strategy consulting, because I'm a really good strategist. If you want to win, you'd probably want to call me, because I don't lose. I never lose because I don't pick fights that I lose, because I'm a strategist, right? That's what I do. If I was a shitty strategist, I would not be a strategist. That would be a bad idea for a 55-year-old guy. So the final steps are, as I did that, I met people in the community. I've always cared about equity and civil rights and everything. And so when people started coming to me with issues like police violence and things, I started to help them. And as I started to help them, I became deeper into their lives and their plights, because I was helping people that nobody gave a shit about, right? Because when you're a black person and the police murder your child, nobody fucking cares, right? Because your child should have been a better black child. You should have been a better black mother, right? And then the police just did what they had to do because black children are scary, right? I mean, look, we all know black children are scary. Like 13-year-old boys look like 56-year-old former NFL middle linebackers to cops, right? That's what a 5-year-old black boy looks like. He's like a terror. You got to shoot them before you get close, because they can like explode on you. I don't know what the fuck black kids can do, but they can do shit. They're dangerous kids, man. If they went around shooting 6-year-old little girls, you'd be like, yeah, 6-year-old little blonde girls, people would be doing it. But shoot a couple black kids, they probably are super predators anyway, Robert. So I'm a little cynical about civil rights, and I'm a little pissed off because I've had too many friends die. In fact, this week, to tell you the absolute fact, I have a documentary movie about police murder called Moose, which is about the movie, about the story of Qantas Moose Hayes of Portland, one of the legendary deaths in police murder in the United States over the last few years. And 17-year-old Qantas Moose Hayes, I met his family at his angelversary. That's the 1-year anniversary of when you're murdered by the cops. That's a great name for that. But it's something that we can observe together. So I met that family and I fell in love with them and became part of their family the very next day I was in their home and I was with them, and they became my family. And they said, nobody's paying attention to us. We're getting nowhere. This was years ago, right? They're getting nowhere to the city. And I said, I'm a writer. I'm going to fuck people up. I'm going to help you. And so I started filming them and putting them on the internet. And then I went to New York and visited a friend of mine, Hilton Ariel Ruiz, who is a very successful movie director who's been on HBO and all kinds of stuff for many, many years. And I said, Hilton, in fact, it was for my son's 23rd birthday, I believe. So that would have been 5 years ago, right? So my son and I met Hilton for lunch and went to a studio and stuff. And I said, I had just met Moose's family like a month or two before. And I'm telling about this. It's the most fucking craziest thing I've ever seen, right? This unarmed black kid laying in the driveway, and some fucking psychopath comes up with an AR-15 and fucking puts one in his head, chest, and abdomen, while he's surrounded by cops with less lethals. I mean, this guy, and by the way, this guy was called by his wife, who's a 911 operator, like, honey, get to the scene. You can go kill a black kid. And so he did. So that's the kind of world I've been dealing with, Robert. It's a lot of fun. It's not a lot of fun. Not a lot of fun. That's a lot of fun.
That is something. That's something right there. A lot of people can't even imagine going through half of that stuff there. Now, you said while you were speaking there, briefly there, you said, I'm a writer. I'll get in. I can help you. We can I think you said something like, I can help you. We can fuck some shit up. Something along those lines there. Now, you are a writer. Now, what made you want to write? Then I want to get into what made you want to go ahead and write the book. Okay. You said, I'm a writer. I want to help. Well, fuck some shit up. So now, what made you want to write, and why did you come up and create that great book right there?
Well, so there's some events that happened prior to this time that kind of woke me up to some reality that was very brutal. So when I've been writing for a very long time. I have a condition called aphantasia, which means that unlike most people, I can't picture anything in my head. I can't picture my kid's face, an apple, whatever. If I close my eyes, all I see is black. Okay, so that I think has always caused my brain to work differently in terms of words. So words are like toys to me. Words dance around in my head. They fall on my head. I don't have to try to write. It just happens, man. It's just like anybody that writes, like a musician or whatever else. It's just a blessing that comes to me. And so I'm just a translator, and the words come to me. And of course, I feel compelled to share that truth as a 55-year-old man that wants my kids to live their full lifespan. And I see that very, very much at risk. I'm just compelled to share my truth because I have nothing else that I worry about. I don't give a fuck. Go ahead and kill me. I want my kids to live. You think I'm fucking scared of anything or anybody while the world sits on the edge of nuclear disaster trying to end the human race? This would be a bad time to have a lot of fear. This would be a really bad time to have a lot of fear. This is the time to stand up, nut up, and look at psychopaths and cult leaders and go, yeah, fuck you guys. We're going for peace and the people, right? That's what this time is. But so, Robert, I am 55 now. So that means 9 years ago on my way to Seattle to cover a mass shooting by a non-student at Seattle University. The two young men that he shot were both from Portland, Oregon. They'd both gone to high school and grown up in Portland, Oregon, and he shot them dead in Seattle University for no reason, right? It was just a random mass shooting. So I was on my way up to Seattle University to talk to the students and try and understand what was the impact of this, and also to try and understand for the people of Portland why they just lost two of their young men to gun violence in a classroom at Seattle University, which is, if you don't know, like that's right smack dab in the middle of Seattle, like down in the tourist area, like down on the wharfs and stuff. Like, I mean, if people are getting shot to death right there, you got a big problem on your hands, right? And this is where millions and millions of people go. And Seattle is, the major city of the Northwest. There's nothing even close. Portland is a small town compared to Seattle. Seattle is a gigantic city with money from Microsoft and billionaires and Bainbridge Island and all this beautiful real estate of the Puget Sound. Seattle's like Washington probably has 10 million times more money than Oregon, right? If you want to compare our two states, we're the poor guys down south, as you are, right? So on my way up there, interestingly, I stopped for a salad at a town called Centralia, where a man came up to me on the street that was all steroided up and had a bald head. And he touched noses with me and spit in my face and said, "Get off my sidewalk, get out of my town." And I said, well, hey, fuck you. Who are you? Why don't you step over there and I'll get you the help you need? And then he did that again. He said, get off my sidewalk, get out of my town. Why did he choose me? I don't know. I got tattoos. Maybe just like Mr. Cherry thinks maybe I look like a faggot. You never know. I could have looked like a faggot on that day. I might have looked like a Jew.
Let's try to that word right there. That word right there. Let's do
that's a quote. That is a direct quote from a violent incident. I am not using hate speech. That is a direct quote. If I did not tell you what he said, you would not know what I was accosted.
Right, I got you.
And I will not repeat
it. I just have to do that part. I just have to say that part. Just so YouTube, when they hear me say it and then they hear you explain, they don't have to go do any more thing like that. We killed two birds with one stone.
Exactly. And so I'm very disturbed by hate speech against people, not against me. It doesn't bother me at all, right? For me, it's just a challenge that somebody needs to learn something. And sometimes that's a hard lesson. So I humiliated this person with my words, and I called 911 and humiliated him on 911 with my words. And then his cop friends showed up and were dicks, and I humiliated them with my words. And then that was enough. That was enough contempt of cops, and they kidnapped me and tortured me and held me for 27 hours without a lawyer, lying to my family that I had picked fights with people on the street. That was a really big education for me, Robert. That was a really getting tortured by the cops. And I have it on tape, by the way. when I was recording this, while I was being accosted by the police and saying, "Hey, don't shoot me, my mistake, meathead." While I was doing that, the cop, when he arrested me, put my phone in his pocket on record, so you can actually like. I share it with friends. It's been on the internet. You can actually listen to me being tortured for multiple
I've
hours
seen
and
it.
going to the hospital and all that stuff. So it was a great education, Robert. I learned a lot.
Wow. Let's get into the book. Now,
So my first
in
book was on
order
civil
to
rights.
in
My
no no
first
no no
book
no
was
no.
called
All right,
Proven Reality.
I know. We're gonna talk about let's get into the gig world right now.
Mhm.
Let's talk about the project, because this project and the things that you have been doing, this really opened up a lot of eyes. Now,
Yeah,
you worked in the gig world. For
I
everyone
did.
that doesn't know, let them know what app you drove for and how many deliveries you I
Shit.
would say it like this: how many qualifying deliveries? Because we don't want anyone to be unqualified when they speak. So how many qualified deliveries did you complete?
I completed 5,521 deliveries according to DoorDash. I do believe that's a shorted number. I believe they monkey with the statistics. However, I did complete 5,521 dashes between August of 2020 and July of 2022 when my car blew up. So for over 2 years in Oregon, Washington, and Indiana, 3 different states, both rural and urban communities, I did 5,521 dashes for a total of $48,000, for a total of well over $8,000 of damage to my car, for a total of slightly over 40,000 miles driven. So that's just kind of the bare stats
Mm,
for DoorDash. And I never had a single contract violation that was upheld, and I never had a single I never had a violation. I was never deactivated. I never received any warning things. No, nothing. Yeah, I mean,
okay.
5,521 deliveries. I had all the high statistics. I mean, when I moved to Indiana, I started serving Indiana University because they're all into scamming and stealing. And so, like, I got my first 1-star reviews from kids that were stealing food. Like, he didn't leave it on the bench with the picture. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. I didn't leave it on the bench with the picture at Indiana University. That didn't happen. And of course, I had pictures and stuff because I'm not stupid. So I never had any of those withheld. But man, did I get some, the 1-star reviews from the kids that were upset that they didn't get to steal food. So that was kind of my
All right.
gig me story.
All right. And people, in case you are listening, uh he went down a list: top ratings, no contract violations, deactivations, no any of that. So which would make everything that he would put into a book, okay, it would make it truthful, and it would make it to be something that you can actually listen to. There was no fault before, so there was no fault going into that book. Now,
And there
going
was,
into
and I
putting up
never,
your, go ahead.
and I never,
Go,
I took notes on my single iPhone that I used to work for DoorDash. I never worked for any other app ever, not even a single order. I took notes on my iPhone just in terms of things that were happening to me, but I kind of have a relatively what you call a perfect memory. I can pretty much remember day by day, word by word, what people said, where they said it, where it was, all that kind of stuff. It's aggravating because I'd go to my wife, like, remember we went to that movie? She could be like, no. And I'm like, how do you not remember? Because for me, it's like seeing it, but other people, like, some people don't retain that kind of thing. So that's kind of like a little superpower that somebody gave me, and I like it. It's nice, but it's not always the best thing. Maybe I remember too much. But the important point about that I wanted to make about that gig economy is that at no time, all during that time, in fact, I started watching gig tubers before I even started. So I was waiting. I had some criminal charges pending from civil disobedience during the pandemic. So I got turned down on my criminal background checks from all the gig apps, including DoorDash. And I wrote them a letter there and hey, these are charges, not convictions, and the courts are closed for pandemic. And like, I'm innocent until proven guilty, just in case you may have forgotten. And so, let me work, right? Because I'm going to starve to death. And so somehow, out of a miracle, they did. It took me like 5-6 weeks to get signed up for DoorDash. That's how long I had to work to get signed up for DoorDash. So, and it was the only one that let me in. So I was fucking thrilled, man. I'm like, holy shit, I don't have to starve to death. Nobody will hire me. But, you know, they finally let me on, the criminal that I am. I mean, the other side, the dark side likes to tell you about my criminal things, and I like to tell you about my criminal activities too. Ask me about them anytime. So I want you to know, though, in that entire time, I never made a single video. I never really, I don't think I ever commented on a GigTube video. I watched thousands because I was learning and watching, but I never commented. I didn't join the community, if you will. In fact, the thing that amazed me about it is how isolated we were, because each of it is put on this phone where we're playing AI one-on-one. And so we're isolated in our own little world. And even when you run into other dashers on the road, like Robert changes that game because he talks to people and he makes a community, right? That's what Robert does differently, because Robert's not a psychopath, right? Robert cares about the people and connects with the people, which is what not psychopaths do, right? And that's what I like to do too. But I never produced any content. I'm not a gig tuber. I never gave a tip or trick. In fact, the first thing I told you in my book, which, 4 chapters are freely online for you to read, is I'm not going to give you any tips or tricks because there are none. I'm just going to tell you how I survived and what I learned after I quit. And so most of what I learned, Robert, I mean, I knew this was a scam, right? I knew this was illegal. I knew all of that, but I also used it in a way that I completely ignored the AI and everything else. I lived in the zone. I was the anti-AI, right? I didn't use the AI. I just sat there and waited for an offer that was worth my time. And if it was, I moved. And if there wasn't, I read a book or went shopping or sat around and smoked pot or watched TV. I don't give a fuck, right? So, and I had, the 1 or 2%, acceptance rate, but I get the, $30 shop and pay orders from a mile down the road. I'd be back in my house in 20 minutes, man. They laughed their ass off in the store. I would shop for 25 items at Aldi supermarket in Bloomington in like 11 minutes because I knew the store like the back of my hand, man. I did this professionally. So I was getting out of there so damn fast. I do 3 shop and pays an hour, and I wouldn't take anything that made me drive over 3 miles, man, because I'm not a fucking idiot. And so why does DoorDash hate me? Why did Dad Dash flip? And why does Pedro Buy hate me and all that? Because I'm not a fucking idiot. And I told you the truth. Now, what's the name of my book? Right. So the last day I dashed, this is kind of wild. Last day I dashed after I got my car back from blowing up. And I barely could make myself get out the door again because I'd already started on the book while I was out of business for like 6 weeks or whatever, trying not to die and starve to death and run out of money. And so I got back and I was riding around and so like, I don't know if I was thinking disclosure or full, and I went full dash closure. And I'm like, holy shit. And I wrote that shit down while I was riding. But that's what happens, man. I wasn't even thinking of it. It just like popped into my head as I was driving around. And so I named the book Full Dash Closure, Awakening from the Human Exploitation of DoorDash Singularity. Now that is a very prescient title because that's exactly what is happening right now. And so I'm very proud of that because I wrote what is happening right now. I planned what's happening right now. I had a team working for me once I started doing this that researched and contacted and cataloged gig workers. Now, of course, Dad Dash made fun of that last night, like he wasn't contacted by one of those people, and that wasn't a fact. But he was contacted by one of those people, and it wasn't my cousin, and it is a fact. So Dad Dash is like, whoa, doing some desperate wild lying because all of this is, of course, documented. So. When I quit, like you said, so I made myself dash for a couple of days and I'm just like, I can't even do this. I just got to work on my book. And I found an investor, Robert, because I'm a pretty good writer and talker. And I found somebody that gave me enough money that I could just quit dashing and stay home and write this book for a few months. And so that's what I did. Ooh. I started just staying home and writing book full time. And that's what I've been doing for the last year and a half. Now, there's a little trick to that, though, because my intention and what's happening right now is my intention was to make this a viral book. I knew I would have my traditional civil rights audience, my academics, reporters. I have 30,000 followers on Twitter. I've been writing about civil rights since the Eric Garner days, since the Trayvon Martin days, since the Michael Ferguson. What was his last name, Robert? Michael Brown. I apologize.
Yeah, Michael Brown in Ferguson. Yeah, that was in Ferguson, Michael Brown.
That's correct. That's correct. So, and Ferguson is not that far away from St. Louis, interestingly, and we're very racist, right? They were essentially terrorizing the black people of the town of Ferguson with the police. Not even, I shouldn't say essentially, they were terrorizing the black people of Ferguson with the police. And so this thing blew up. And so I had an account then called J Black 501c3, and I got up to like 60,000 followers. And then I shut it down and deleted it because I'm not on social media for my ego. I was done with that part of my life. I had gotten through my trauma of police torture. I had gotten through this period, and I needed to separate myself from that world a little bit. Now I came back onto Twitter as a writer again, and started doing a lot with the Trump candidacy. And that's why my Twitter name now is LRB. It is not. That stands for Locker Room Banter. It is not. So I had some things to say about the world and how it might look under Donald Trump. And I was not wrong about those things. If you want to go back and look at my history, I have a pretty good public track record of telling you what's going to happen. In fact, when I say good, I mean perfect. So go check it out. So I came back on, and I've been on since that time, which was 2016. Amazingly enough, that's 7 years. Now, during that 7 years, I took 2 years off of Twitter. I did not tweet or do any media at all while I was dashing or during the pandemic. I just wasn't interested. In fact, I deleted my Facebook during the pandemic. I went off Twitter. I just did not do any social media. Like I just kept my head together, tried to hold my family together. I have some elderly parents. I had a lot of things to do, and social media was not one of them. Right. We were all wondering what the future of the world is. And I think we found the future of the world is that while we were sleeping in the pandemic, they slipped in corporate eye and DoorDash on us and turned a global workforce into app slaves. And app slaves is a word that I invented, came up with, and it's a word that is very poisonous, as you might guess. And it's one that somebody that's an idiot, like, a shill, and an idiot like Dad Dash would take great offense at. It's one that a shill and an idiot like Pedro would take great offense at because it's true, right? So when they scream, when they squeal the most, no, that's when it hurts. That's when it hurts. And absolutely.
Let's get into that right now. We just go jump right in the beginning of the end of DoorDash. You know what I mean? Right. DoorDash is pretty much let's get into the what I call it. I call it this: the non-violence assault that jacked them up. Like you hit them with a Mike Tyson uppercut without even laying hands on them, and it irritated these dudes so much that they just went ham. Now, take me into the beginning of the end of DoorDash and how you became top two. If we are in the Wild Wild West, you and Thomas Schubeck right now have your pictures on there for a bounty, and it says dead or alive. Let's get into the beginning of the end of DoorDash and how did it turn into you being the most evilest, corruptest man of all time. Let's get into that.
Because I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter, Robert. Like, you want to pick a fight with me? I'm into it, man. Because that's why I made myself the target, because somebody has to be a target, and I did not want somebody that could be hurt like a gig worker to be a target. I'm a writer. I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. You can't catch me. You don't know where I am. You can't find me. I don't broadcast my locations. I don't go out in the public. I'm the silent assassin of fraud, man. That's what I do. And so I drive him crazy. Pedro was fucking begging on his hands and knees. He had an army of people begging me on his hands and knees to come on his stupid live stream where he did things like get Robert Reese on there, put Robert Reese on mute, laugh at him, put him on mute again, hang up on him, and then claim victory. I was like, yeah, I mean, this is Pedro, right? This is what's going on in this silly world. But that works for a cult, because the stupider you get, I study cults a lot, right? So the stupider you get, the crazier Pedro gets. The more Charles Manson, wild-eyed, fucked up Pedro gets, the deeper love his cult has, right? So that's the cult extremism. That's what pulls people in. And so this is very, very real, what's going on right now. Like, Pedro is selling a cult of personality. I mean, I put up a video with Pedro saying, you're not going to change the world of DoorDash. You're not going to teach people. I'm going to teach people. I own this. I mean, Robert, did you see that shit?
Yeah, come on. I've been. He's I have quite an extensive history
I ain't never
with
seen anything like it.
Pedro's, and he is I don't put nothing past the guy because he has shown that he will do the craziest things. Like they it's ridiculous. And then what really gets me upset about it is the people don't know that when you are interacting with him behind the scenes, he does weird things like text you and then he blocks you on text and then he'll like he
Gaslights
does a
you,
lot of
lies about
weird
you, might
things.
do you.
Yes, he does things like this, and a lot of you guys don't understand because you've never had that experience with him. People, I have had an experience with him from me having 40 subs. I'm at 11.5. That should let you know the whole time I've been here, I've been dealing with this dude. And I had to give myself a break from the dude until what's been happening now. He came out with his goon squads in full effect. Rocksteady and Bebop and all of them are in full effect right now. They're showing their face in other people's lives and chats. They try to make up, well, let's do interviews with people just to sabotage it and do these weird things. They got Thomas in there by saying, no one's going to jump on you. He got in there, and I already knew, which is why I was trying to give him, this is what's going to happen. Thomas was like, I don't think it is, but see, he doesn't have that extensive history that I have with Pedro, so I know exactly what's going to happen. That's why I have to sneak up there and play his game to make him invite me to a show. He would have never done it if I didn't know how to play with his mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Yeah,
and you
he's
cannot
been
put nothing past this dude. He's pure evil.
he really is. He's shown that beyond any reasonable doubt. Shocking, absolutely shocking behavior from any human being. And the fact that there are gig workers ignorant or brainwashed or cultified enough to believe that just makes me terribly sad. They're going to wake up, right? I mean, they will. So there was a big cult in Oregon when I was growing up called the Rajneeshis, and there's a great 3-part documentary called Wild Country that you can watch on the internet. And so they got into this. They had the Bhagwan Sri Rajneesh. They all dressed in red. They were all over Portland, all over Oregon. They took over a town in Eastern Oregon. They took over a town. They like moved in, bought everything, and tried to kick all the other people out. And then they moved homeless people in by busload to vote for them and to live there. But then guess what? All the homeless people with all the mental health problems, the drug and addiction problems and challenges, they didn't really enjoy having those people around. So then they wanted them to leave after they voted. So this thing, this thing's kind of like DoorDash in a lot of ways, right? That you invite in the crazy people and you go, oh shit, we invited in the crazy people. Now, when I say I don't want to, no, I take it back. It's a bad analogy because homeless people are not crazy people. They're people without homes. They invited people in that were not of their in group, and they didn't really want their people there. So
Right.
I'm checking myself on my own little civil rights mistake. We all make mistakes. We all say things that maybe came out the wrong way, and we need to fix those things. So I said something the wrong way, and because homeless people are no more drug addicted or criminal than any of the rest of us. They just don't happen to have the same living situation that we do at the moment. That's so. Let me make that abundantly clear. So,
Right.
so this
Get into this right here. Oh, no, get into this right here. If I can interject really quick, got you in there. You're the most hated man. We've seen some people get exposed. Richard and Pedro were playing the blame game to each other live on camera, and the people out there didn't know what was going on because they were manipulated. What did you feel, or what did you feel when you heard about the glitch? How do you feel about the glitch now and the people that were, manipulating? Go into all of that. And I'm going to give you the all the way floor here. People, this
okay.
is something that I do on interviews when I know I don't want to interrupt someone getting down because I don't want to stop them and have them, forget what's going on. Go into that. Then I want you to bring in, you bring in Dad Dash, insert Dad Dash where you may, insert Sin City where you may, insert Pedro and all this where you may. What you thought about the glitch when you heard about it? What do you think now? And you insert players when you want to. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Robert. So this is terribly interesting, and it just got more interesting. I mean, so I learn every day, just like you guys do, right? I am caught up in this criminal organized crime cabal and their gang stalking and their misinformation, disinformation, gaslighting, YouTube broadcasts. I'm caught up in all of this. Well, because it's my job, right? I mean, I've been doing this for a year and a half full time. This is make no mistake about it, this is my job. Now I don't get money for my job right now, but when writers have books that they publish, they generally get paid for this. So will I someday sell a book? Yeah. I want to make one note though, but the plan from the start, when I do sell my book, there will be a sliding scale for gig workers that goes down to 0. So any and every single person in the world that wants this book for free digitally will get it. So that means that the people that are lying to you and pretending that I'm trying to make money off you by writing a book are lying to you and pretending that I'm trying to make money off you by writing a book. What do you think of that, Robert? Okay, should I keep talking?
Wait.
I'll hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right. So everything you said was great. No, when I gave you the floor, I hit my mute and it wasn't coming back on. No, that is great. Sliding scale is great also. And you said free digitally for anyone that wants it. There was a comment in the section there I saw earlier, and does this for the gig community. You didn't say what he actually does. Then you said, what do you do for the gig community? He just gave one example there. And by the way, if you want to hear a little bit more about what he does for the gig community, go ahead and check out my video. Help has finally arrived from 2 unlikely heroes. Go ahead and see what I get from them and what their contributions are to the gig world. That will give you at least like 5, 6 more. So then you'll have at least 7 things that they are contributing to the gig world. That's all positive. When you can come back with one thing positive that Pedro and anyone on that side has done to contribute, you let me know. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, so very interestingly, I noticed last night with the celebration of Dash Steve Askin. I know him as that name. I don't know who he really is. With the ascension of Steve Askin to Darth Bedonu's dark side, it was just such a coincidence. He hit 1,000 subscribers last night on the day he flipped. Why would that be, Robert?
You said say that again. You said 1,000?
Dad Dash's YouTube channel, which is basically at 0 when I met him over here. Basically at
he's
0.
He's approaching 1,000. He's been going up. I've been checking. Dad Dash has been going up about 15 or so subs, 20 subs every single day. His 1,000 is right there. He will get his 1,000 for sure. I know, me myself being a sales guy, I understand what his approach was on coming in and doing the sales thing to gain his subscribers and following. All of that is good. He's gonna hit it. I don't want to see anyone putting in their time, their progress slow down because of things that are out of their control. Now, it's in his control because you control who you want to associate with. You know what I mean? And Torp said it best in his video. He said, and this is what I tell a lot of people. I've said it myself in other words. I said, if you sit down and watch the lounge and just sit there and watch, they've talked about digging up people's dead wives and sleeping with them and using every other bad word possible. And, I represent the community out there who have speech impediments. I stutter. They make fun of the stuttering community. They put videos up there and do this and that. They allow people to use Sambo and all these other things. So I say all the time, if you sit there and just watch them, what do you get out of that?
Publicity is
Torp
what
is
you
going to
get.
pass up Flex in about a month in total subscribers. Flex told me, why does that matter? Well, it matters for this reason here. If you were doing anything positive and you're on there for that many times, people would enjoy what they're watching instead of unsubscribing all the time. And Dad Dash, what it will do if he goes over there and hangs and just, if you're just laughing with them, or if you chuckle when they say a disgusting joke, you are now involving yourself in that in that disgusting joke. So with that being said, you never want to put yourself in that situation there. That could slow his progress down, and it can turn people who were with him against him. Now, I don't have anything personally wrong with the guy. I don't control no man's business, how you operate, what you got going on. But the words of wisdom, you stay away from the evil. You stay away from there, gain the positivity, and do your channel how you want to. By trying to gain all of their people is only going to make all those trolls go into your own lives. You may have a special message going on, and someone will start talking about beating people and doing weird stuff. So now you got a whole conversation going on in your comments that has nothing to do with what your live is about. And they'll do it to everyone. They have no loyalty to anyone. They'll sabotage anyone. And I don't associate with it. That's why I dubbed them Hollywood gig news, because they're like the National Enquirer type news, the people that do dumb things. If I don't put that news out, the people won't know about it. Some people that don't like that news, they get mad at me saying, well, why are you posting that up? Well, I have to post that up. If I'm posting up all this good stuff, I got to show you the opposite side too. Okay, you got to make your decision based upon what you can get. On Hot Facts, we do side A, and then we do side B. C is your decision there. Dad Dash is going to have to make the decision that he really needs to make, because align yourself with these people. They're going to want you more and more on their show. They'll start asking you questions that go against exactly what you are, to try to get you to monkey see, monkey do. I don't wish that upon any man. Be your own boss and control what you got. He's got to make that decision by himself.
That's right. And I'm pulling up right here because I want to look at the date. Let's see. So the beginning, I'm going to go to the live version. Okay. The Glitchgate scandal. It's the beginning of the end of DoorDash. Somebody can put that link in the chat if they want to, but it's easy to find if you put in Glitchgate. If you put in hashtag Glitchgate, somebody put that in the chat, please. Hashtag Glitchgate. You're going to get all kinds of videos from Thomas Schubeck, from DoorDash Sucks, from Coach Eli, from Robert Reese. You're going to get all kinds of good information. Okay, and so use that link. That's how you can use GigTube now to skip the bullshit, is just use Glitchgate. And if people aren't talking about Glitchgate, then they're lying to you, right? That's an easy thing to do, isn't it, Robert?
I was speaking with the DoorDash Revolution 2 days ago, and I was letting him see. I said, look, just what you said. I said, look, type up Glitchgate on Google or anything, and look at how many videos are popping up from everyone. This is one contribution that Schubeck has done. Genius. A lot of you guys don't know that he has made it possible. Okay, he's made it possible so that the videos you put up are not under the same umbrella as the people who he and everybody else are speaking about. It was a separation in content. Now, Glitchgate is part of pretty much everything. You got the Driven Dad making t-shirt money off of it, but you see who is not really speaking on Glitchgate. So it's silencing them, but giving other people a chance to get their word out there. That's a huge contribution from Thomas Schubeck Industries. I want to just make that be known.
Absolutely. Yeah, Thomas Schubeck. I mean, this is a guy who is broadcasting his life and plight, I don't know, 16 hours a day or something, which is kind of taking over. This might be, I'm sure it's a coincidence, kind of taking over what Flex's Lounge used to be, but without the racism and stupidity. So if you go to Thomas Schubeck's lives, you'll see people telling the truth. talking about real gig work, talking about what it's like to live, what it's like to survive, their housing, their night, their real stuff. It's not about who's a Momo and who's a Jew and who's a race that they can make fun of and who might have a physical or speech disability. It's not about a bunch of piggery. And so when Dad Dash went in for the piggery last night, I got to tell you, Robert, I've known Dad Dash now for over a year personally. I would say sometimes we texted. Oh, he's blocked now. I blocked him last night. But before that, we texted probably daily, often over the last year, all documented, of course. He's obviously a very dumb criminal as well. So when Dad Dash flipped yesterday, there's something especially unique about that because 1 month ago, let's pull that up so I can get the actual date. 1 month ago, when I leaked the Glitchgate Sandal, that was on Saturday, July 29, 2023. It's in the title. Somebody, again, can put that in the chat. When I leaked that, I said, well, I had multiple sources. That's not true. I lied to you because I protected my source. I lied to you. I lied to you, Robert. I lied because I had one source, Robert. You know who that source was? It was Steve Askin, Dad Dash. Dad Dash called me on Friday night and told me about the glitch, told me that Cherry had put up a video of the glitch and then taken it down, and that there was a video of Cherry and Flex talking about it. Dad Dash gave me the video. I don't watch Flex and Cherry and shit. Dad Dash gave this all to me Friday night. We talked on the phone for hour and a half personally, like with our voices and mouths and brains and shit, right? So this is really fascinating, right? Because so the next morning I gave the teaser video from my hot tub that apparently they want to find me dead in, which is pretty funny because, you know, they're a bunch of real criminals and killers and psychopaths. And it's funny to think of finding Jeff Black dead in a hot tub. It's a laugh riot for me, I can tell you. So before Dad Dash joined the people that joke about finding me dead, Dad Dash was the leak. Dad Dash is Deep Throat. Dad Dash did Glitchgate. Dad Dash did Glitchgate. Sat by the sideline, watched everybody flip around while I did not leak my source. And of course, he didn't leak my source. He was playing Mr. Neutral. And so then last night, as Matthew Arizondo says, yeah, he did in fact hit 1,000 subs. So on the same night that Dad Dash asked for whatever the fuck his name is, Maskini, whatever the fuck, he's got a couple different names. He's probably an executive or some kind of, maybe he was an agent of some type, an actor of some type. This guy is an actor. He's a bad actor. But this guy was acting with me for a year, pretending to be a nice person, a dad, doing videos about being the salt of the earth family man. And that was all a lie because the night that he hit 1,000 subs, he set out to destroy me by pretending that he didn't know me, by pretending that he hasn't complimented my work throughout, which he has. Like he said I sent him chapters. He said I asked him for money. I did send him chapters and he wrote back some actual stuff. I have those emails, but it wasn't the stuff he said online. It was like, hey, this is good. This is pretty complex. And I said, yeah, I'm going to take another whack at it. This is my first draft. So Dad Dash was kind of one of my confidants, Robert, for over a year. Isn't that fascinating that one of my confidants goes on the air? In fact, the confidant that started Glitchgate goes on the air and pretended he didn't know about it and then tries to smear and victimize me. So I don't ever, this is the first time, Robert, as a journalist, I've ever given up a confidential source. And I felt good about doing that because Dad Dash is no longer a source. Dad Dash is an agent of DoorDash who is sent in here to attempt to clean up the god-awful mess that is going to kill the company because DoorDash will die. So that's just a little nugget for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts, Robert, because I broke this news last night when I got to my new living space so that I don't get found dead in hot tubs for my children. So when I got to this new place, so I'm not dead, I went on the internet and I found that Dad Dash had flipped. And I was just like, holy shit, this is great. This is an amazing night. What do you think, Robert?
Now the flip, yeah, perfect. Because I want to hop in here. You answered a whole lot, because I was gonna ask how long have you known Dad Dash and the history. You went and did all of that. Now, when I've been seeing him go on Flex and going on this channel, I'm like, okay, he's going on these channels, and he came up here on HotFacts, and I thought the questions I was asking them, we were A-okay. Everything is good. There's nothing wrong with me. Torp allowed him to be up there because I didn't want to have any issues there. You know, when he went on the lounge and he had some questions about if I was trying to make him and Rideshare Rodeo beef, I had to address that. But that only came because the guys over there were pumping him up. They were over there pumping him up and doing all this other stuff. So I had to address that, let it be known about what it all the way is. I wanted people to actually see the difference between you guys, and that's what I did. But they were pumping them up. So, when I see someone click a link more often when they go up, and my link is always here, he doesn't have to click it. But he did. He comes in the chats. But when I see you click a link and get up there and speak, and these guys are up there talking bad about the people, really bad about the people that's going on. I went into his chat yesterday just so I can be in the chat so that he can see once I just get in there, I can just say hi, and he's going to see a whole bunch of hate coming through and telling me all the worst things. So I wanted him to like see that. So he's hopping over there more and more and more. I'm like, wow, is he gonna side over there? Are they gonna be, because he's growing faster than a lot of those dudes who are sitting stagnant right now? Are they gonna use his mouthpiece for his sales and all of that? Put him up there, let him speak. You guys go ahead, subscribe under him, send him super chats. Is that what he's gonna do to do it just to get that money there? Now, if he has something he has to pay off real fast and he wants to get that fast money, go ahead, do that. They all go ahead and super chat each other and do all that other stuff. But at the same time, me, I'm not going to do all that. I don't want to see him fall into that role, but I see exactly how they can use him. They can use him as the real talk with Roy that doesn't say bad words. They can't, people, when they hear Roy talk, people get turned off because of how brash he is, and he's just nuts out there. Dad Dash is more controlled, different vocabulary. They can now trade, within their own team. Let's move Roy back, put Dad Dash up, then make him speak and do all that. I hope that's not what he's doing it for. Now, I do see him on more of their stuff. Is that what you are calling the flip? Because you already knew that he knew about the glitch and everything. So going on their stuff more, are you considering that the flip by letting the people know because he's showing up there?
To be specific, I have an iPhone and I never did the glitch. The glitch directions that I put on the internet with the glitch, that was quoted verbatim from Dad Dash. He gave me those words. He gave me the instructions. Dad Dash did. Okay, so let's be very clear that he started this. And so why would he start it on July 29th, 2023, and then hit 1,000 subs, go on and tell nothing but lies, laugh with racists and bigots, yuck it up like a freaking psychopath, man. Listen, I've talked, when you talk to somebody on the phone, like, I don't know, 50 times. Let's say Dad Dash and I have talked, I don't know, 50 times. That might be too much. Let's say 20 times. But we've texted, let's say 500 times, 1,000 times. I don't know. It depends on how, days, lots of days, but multiple messages in a day, right? So to know somebody for a year, over a year, and then see their personality literally change, and they go on and switch from some nice fatherly person. And by the way, I have all the quotes and all the things, Steve saying Pedro's a psychopath and all, Steve, to me, right, was not a Pedro fan. He basically approved of everything I was doing, or at least he acted like he did, right, because he was getting information from me. In fact, it was very funny looking back now, because Steve sent me a message and he says, did you report Pedro? Are you the one that got him demonetized? And of course, I didn't think about this, Steve, trying to set me up or anything, but I just been like, no, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, well, how would I do that?
Steve's a snake. I have a history with Steve also. Steve's a snake. I have a history with him also. He's a snake.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't even know. I mean, no, I obviously I did not have any. I don't report. The only thing I've ever reported is when people used hate speech against me personally, which was Flex. Like, that's the only report I've ever made on YouTube. So no, I did not. In fact, I mean, look, I was, and I sent Dad Dash a copy of this, by the way, because I send Dad Dash emails. I sent DoorDash a copy of the email that I got from YouTube that canceled my recurring payment as a member of Pedro's channel. That's how I found out Pedro's demonetized, is I got a thing saying your recurring payment as a member of Pedro's has been suspended because he's been demonetized. So look, man, like, you know,
Dang.
this
They
is what
sent that to you to let you know your money is going. Yeah, they sent that to you.
Oh, because it's a recurring payment, right? I mean, they send it just like any other subscription. They send a recurring. They said we canceled your recurring payment because this channel's been demonetized. And so I'm like, well, shit, that's funny as hell. Now, but Steve Askin obviously asking me, why would DoorDash ask me if I had anything to do with Pedro being demonetized? What the fuck could I have to do with? I don't even know how that would work. But Steve has continued, when I look back, he has asked very suspicious things that shows me that he's embedded. Now, I'm not a terribly suspicious guy. In fact, I'm a very trusting guy with people. I trust Robert. Now, could Robert be playing me? Sure. But I'm willing to take that risk. I'm a human being. If Robert turns out to stab me in the back, I'll learn. But I don't think that's going to happen. I'm a pretty good judge of people I pick.
You are, first of all, let me stop you right there when you talk about me. First of all, people, there ain't no Reese don't stab nobody in the back. First of all, people, you got to understand that I am a news source. I am the news channel of the gig world. You have to understand how news networks work. I don't stab anyone in the back. If you do something stupid and I report on it, I'm not stabbing you in the back. I am just reporting on the news that is there. And if you do something stupid and I report on it and you get mad because I do, that is all your fault. The only people that have ever said I stabbed him in the back is everyone on Pedro's side, because all they keep doing is stupid things. They never say nothing about the positive things that I share. They only say that stuff. And like this guy right here, let me read this comment because it makes no sense. Because if he's been listening right now, SFNTB, it says he didn't pick any side. How can you be on a side if all you've done is represent yourself the whole time? Y'all's narrative don't match up. First of all, you said y'all's narrative don't match up. You live in the Midwest or something else like that. I don't want to be throwing these jokes out there, but they say, it's something in the water that makes you walk a little slower down there. I'm gonna put it like this. I have just openly said I have nothing against DoorDash and how he's doing his business. I specifically said, Uber Jeep AZ said, you guys don't listen to the words that come out of my mouth. Let me say it like Chris Tucker. You don't listen to the words that's coming out of my mouth, man. You don't do it. Let me tell you why. I specifically said, I hope he is not going over there. And I explained why. I said, I hope. I hope means I'm not saying he's this or that. I am hoping. I said, I hope he does not go over there because it could tarnish and damage what he is building up. So you need to understand narrative and the comprehension before you start typing, because I specifically said, I hope he is not doing that, because I think they're going to use him like this because he is the opposite of Roy. These are things that I am putting in. I'm not saying that is what's happening. I am hoping, and I have an opinion, and I'm thinking about it. The opinion is not closed because we don't have a definite action or answer from the guy in question. Once we have that, then what it is what it is. But you can't have an opinion on a false narrative if you don't even know what narrative we are putting out there, because we're not putting out a narrative. We are conversing over like facts that are out there. It just so happens that the gentleman sitting right across from me or right in front of me is he knows everything. So you have to take him as credible. Now, if DoorDash goes on over to the lounge or go to Pedro or any of that stuff, they're gonna have to ask him questions based upon this. Did you tell him? Did you do that? Can we trust you? If they do that, they may start talking about him and kick him out. But that's the situation you put yourself in. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's a strong possibility. SFNTB. You're watching Hot Facts with Robert Reese.
Yeah, man. I couldn't say it better. And so, right. So I spent last night, in fact, I practically fell asleep with my phone in my hands, taking snapshots of Steve's and my chats, including his leak to me and sending them to people that are interested. And I have the emails and everything. So, man, like if I was going to lie to people, Robert, I would not lie to people about somebody with whom I've had a digital documented relationship with for over a year, because, you know,
Yeah.
that's just not going to go well in any court of law or anywhere else, man. I mean, look, man, like, I mean, look,
Pedro
I
Roy.
don't need to take time, but, you know, like the man, like, okay, Steve Dad Dash is the leaker of the glitch. He told the world, he gave the quotes to me. I shared them verbatim how to do this. So Steve Askin, Dad Dash, taught you how to do the glitch, that the glitch exists. And now he's telling you it's immoral to use it. And the people that told you about it are bad people. So I think Dad Dash is a bad people by his own definition, Robert. Because he set us all up.
SFNTV.
He set me up to be the target, Robert, and I set myself up to be the target too. I volunteer to be the target because I'm a writer, right? That's my thing. I want to be your target because that's what writers do. Like if I'm your target, that means I'm winning and you're interested, right? You're not interested if I'm bullshit crazy and stuff. You're interested because I have the fucking facts, all of them. Enough to put DoorDash out of business. That's why they want to keep me from publishing this book. And that's why they have sabotaged my life for 6 months financially, my living situation. They've threatened my life for 6 months to keep this book from being written, Robert. You want to know I'm a little crusty motherfucker at 55? It's because people have been terrorizing the shit out of me to keep this book from being written. You think I don't know what's going on? You think I didn't expect this fuckery? You know, you think Pedro didn't fucking troll me when I started telling the truth? I didn't troll Pedro. I was a fucking fan. I was just fucking like, hey, Pedro, you're doing all right. You need to learn this, this, and this. And then Pedro started trolling me. I'm like, well, this is fucking interesting. Because I don't troll anybody. I don't have to troll anybody. If you have the truth, you don't got to troll anybody. You just got to say the truth, man. It's very, the truth is fucking simple.
It's easy. And people, in case you don't know, the truth is very easy. Look, hot facts. Jeff, I don't think you know, or I don't think you heard. The message behind my brand, Hot Facts, my motto, okay, the message is Hot Facts is the truth behind what you stand for. That's Hot Facts. The truth behind what you stand for. The key word is truth, and truth is very easy. Now, SFNTB, I hate saying all those together. I don't want to mess it up. You're hearing it from one side, which is a credible side. Okay, it's just like if you were going to buy a newspaper and you picked it up, you're possibly gonna think the stuff inside there is real and it's fake, but this is actually real because the person involved is a real person, and so it cannot be fake. So now for anybody out there who is hearing this, if you guys with a moderator like myself, because everybody sees here on Hot Facts, it is very fair playing field with the moderator. If Dad Dash ever wanted to be on one side and I be in the middle, and then Jeff Thomas Black is here, if they wanted to have a debate, I ask a question, they both answer, they both get a time limit, no cutting each other off. You are willing to do that here on Hot Facts.
Let me say something, Robert. Dad Dash is not a person I will ever have a conversation with like Pedro. No, Dad Dash is out of my life.
Okay.
Dad Dash is a danger and is a danger to the community. He participated in hate speech last night. I will never platform Dad Dash or speak to that giant,
done deal,
bigoted piece of shit ever. So that won't happen.
Done deal.
He's welcome to come on. I'd love to watch him talk because I love to watch him live. But so this fucker last night, by the way, said that I had asked him for money, which is fucking hilarious. So I would love, and I encourage Dad Dash to post everything he said last night. He should post the communications between him and myself that say those things, because I assume they're mostly in writing. Okay. So when I solicited him for money or whatever I did, all his stuff, he should post those, all of them. Okay. And let the people read them, because I could do that too. I'm not going to take the time, but since Dad Dash made the claims, he could back those up with facts, right? So I invite him to do it. He can send those to Robert Reese, and Robert Reese can review the facts and report to the world if Dad Dash does, in fact, have proof of his allegations. That would be excellent.
The news channel will do that. The news channel will do that, people, because if it comes out here, it's real, people. I cannot I cannot put out something that's fake and hurt my brand. That's why I have to separate Hollywood gig news to let people know that it's not fake, it's just stupid. If if you guys hear it here on Hot Facts, it's real. And what he said is he respects the news channel for what it is. And if you have it, you can go ahead and send it in, PDF, do whatever. I review, then bam, go ahead and talk about whatever else it is. Now,
So Robert,
let's get into this. Let's get into the actual glitch gate. Go ahead.
I will.
Oh, go
So
ahead.
Robert, I just sent you 5 pictures. Will you show those pictures on screen? You can take me off. So that's my dialogue with Steve Askin leaking Glitchgate to me. So I'm showing you proof here of Steve and my dialogue leaking Glitchgate. I sent you 5 pictures. Let's show those, brother.
I see them. They're coming in. I'm not gonna show those right now. When I take them off, you know, I can do a separate. Do a separate video,
Okay.
put some narration in it,
Okay.
and have those shown so they can actually get it if they want to rewind it.
I'm going to read you one.
Go ahead.
From and this is dated, so that Friday night, January 28th, and this is between me and Dad Dash when he leaked this to me on Friday the 28th. I said, "Scams draw scammers," and he replied, "Yep." Oh, so here, this is okay. There's the phone. Let's see if we can get it right. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is the conversation. I'm the blue. Steve is the gray. Okay, and Robert has his picture now, so Robert can look at it and verify that this is real. Well, you need an Android phone, Steve says, but you basically log into app, then bring up the multitasking window and click the app so it brings up the ability to force close the app. Then force close it and then shut the app down. Wait for the text to come in with an order. So once it does, wait until it tells you your dash is paused and open app. Your AR goes up as if you accepted the order. Some cases, it won't if you are replacing an accepted order in your last 100. Then rinse and repeat. And I said, gotcha. If you have Top Dasher, just keep logging in, Steve says, and run it while you're at home, running errands, etc. Get your AR high enough. And I said, any reason I shouldn't expose this? GibTube is a scam. And he said, yep, none, but don't attribute it to me. I don't need that or that kind of heat. And I said, LOL, I do. I think we got married. I said, I do. Isn't that great? Isn't that great, Robert? You love that shit? What a fucking Saturday this is.
Look, that is crazy right there because, man,
yeah,
that is crazy.
Right?
That is crazy.
Crazy. Gaslighting.
Oh my goodness. So hold up, and when you said the rinse and repeat part, I was like, oh, Glitch Daz. Oh, he said it the exact same way, and then rinse and repeat. You know the deal. Oh my goodness, people! This is man, exclusive news. This is the interview. Right, I told you it's the interview of the year. The interview of the year. You heard this first on Hot Facts with Robert Reese. You heard this first on Hot Facts with Robert Reese. Any other person out there, any other channel, anyone could be talking about this. These are the actual factuals. And the only way to disprove this is if someone deleted them from their phone, but he still has the thread there. You cannot delete it because he still has it. This is the actual truth right here. So he just pretty much proved who the man. You guys, you cannot hate. You cannot hate and say he made that up. He screenshotted that. He photoshopped it. And then he went each line. Don't try to say, well, he's a writer, right? He knows how to Photoshop and make threads from phones go in. No. There is none of that. This is actual information that you guys should hear. Information like this is what will change your mind. Okay, about certain individuals, about certain channels, things like that. Now you got to understand, birds of a feather flock together, right? That's why I don't associate with channels like that over there. Now, if this person knows, and even Ricky Knight was on there talking about, I know how to do a glitch on Android. I mean on Apple, for DoorDash, and it bumps you up 2 points on AR. Flex said, no, don't say it here. I was in the chat and I said, yeah, watch your mouth because I'm watching. I said that to him, people. So if they're talking about
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
watched
that,
too, man.
and you got someone, and then you got someone that leaked it to somebody else, and they're over there, and then you already know about Glitchered and then Pedro, people. You gotta start to put things together like Pangea and realize the world was once. It was all one connected at one time. You got to start to put it back together, people. When you put it together, you get a whole. Then your opinion, you can actually have an honest, educated opinion instead of a dumbass, naive opinion. This is real facts coming from the actual source. You don't get no more credible than this. If you can, someone prove it. Keep going, Jeff. Keep going. Floor is yours.
Right on, man. So I'm really glad to share this because it blew my mind, man, that Dad Dash was up there talking like he didn't know me when I wouldn't say we're BFFs, but Dad Dash knows me pretty freaking damn well, and I know him pretty damn well. But I thought I knew him, right? But he's an agent. He was inserted into my life, let me tell you. So there are certain people that and so this is how I know, Robert. This is how I know, Robert. This is how I know, Robert. This is how I know for a fact. You know who found Torp? Me. Torp had no viewers. I found Torp. I talked to Torp. I taught Torp that what he was playing was a rigged game. I did that. Torp's organic. But you know what? Some people that I had working for me to catalog gig workers put me on the phone. They said, hey, I have this great guy named Steve who I've been talking to, and he wants to talk to you. This was over a year ago. And I said, well, I was writing my book. I was working on it. And I said, well, let me look up his account real fast because this seems like must be a new one. I don't really recognize the name as something I've watched before. And I watch everybody. I've been watching everybody for like 3.5 years, man. So I know all of these people. So he hands me the cell phone, and it's Steve, Dad Dash, this nice dad guy who wants to talk about DoorDash, and he heard what I'm working on, and he's interested, and he's this nice guy, and I'm like, wow, okay, cool, like you got this kind of thing, and I started promoting channel. By the way, Dad Dash, if you go back, unless he's changed them, if you go to all the Dad Dash things, he puts my book in the links. Like he's been endorsing my book for a year. Sorry,
Man.
He's been endorsing my book for a year.
Okay, I got a question. SFNTB, is this a troll? Is this Flex as a troll? Because I'm looking at the comments this person is making. Is it Flex as it's someone over there as a troll? Because these like this comment here, this comment doesn't make any sense. Pardon me, but how are these facts just because they are coming from you? All right, that's like, people, that's like, look, I'm 6'4", 6 feet 4 inches tall. If I told you I'm 6 feet 4 inches tall, right? And someone said, no, he's not. Everybody else says he's 5'11". If I'm telling you I'm 6'4", it is coming from me. How is that not facts? Because it's coming from me. I am the source. I am the entity. I am the entity. You can't separate me from anything. This is what you guys do when the truth is smacking you dead in the face. You try to run. There's nowhere to run. Remember on the Warriors movie, she said, "Hello, big boppers, warriors, keep on moving." And they played the song. There's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to run. They played that in the movie. There is nowhere to run. You got to accept the facts for what they are, and don't make the facts your facts, because you don't have any facts. You are trying to listen third party from people who are not even involved. You see what I mean? You got people who are not even involved trying to tell you something, and you are believing them. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, that's like man, I'm not even gonna talk more about that. I don't like to put people down when literally, and I don't like to say literally, but sometimes you just have to because you got to dumb it down like that. If you are
Yeah,
listening to someone and you have ears and you are looking at a chat, you're looking at a chat, you can read the chat and hear. All of that goes into your brain. If you can't put something together there is something not clicking right.
that's right. That's right. So,
Now,
Robert, I want
now,
to read.
oh, Ron's in the house.
Hey, Ron, I want to read something
The
to you,
dash
Robert.
wagon.
I want to read
Go ahead.
something to you, Robert, from the comments here. I hate what this is doing to some YouTubers. I assume they mean gig tubers, not people using YouTube, but people broadcasting content, which is a voluntary act, by the way. If you film yourself and broadcast content, that's a voluntary act, right? You're putting out information, and your information could be good or bad, but it's a voluntary act. Nobody's making you put out bad information or good information. You're choosing to film yourself and become a broadcaster. So you're accountable for that, right? It's not a free pass. You're putting your face on the internet. Well, except if you're Dad Dash, who calls himself, what does he call himself today? Dad Dash calls himself SFNTB_Melissa. I'm sure that's like Dad Dash or Flex or both of them or whatever. Anyway, if you have no icon and no picture and you call yourself something that you're useless. But the Dash Wagon actually made a good comment, and I like it because I know who Dash Wagon is, and I followed them, and I think they follow me. I don't know, but I hate what this is doing to some YouTubers, gig tubers that did nothing wrong. You guys need to get your facts straight. Okay, so let's talk about facts. So what we're doing, yes, gig tubers, sorry, Dash Wagon, no problem, Dash Wagon, I knew what you were talking about. So this is something, and Inspector Columbo is here too. Inspector Columbo is also a very confused individual. So I'm gonna try and be really clear here, Robert, as a translator for very confused individuals. Okay, DoorDash is the glitch. The glitch is DoorDash. DoorDash is a rigged, gamblified game that every human loses a one-on-one match against with corporate AI. That's what DoorDash is. DoorDash is a glitch. The glitch is DoorDash. Now, how many functions and features does the glitch have? We don't know. Probably infinite, because there's billions of people here. There's literally billions of orders, millions of dashers, and hundreds of thousands of merchants. So if you think you can figure this fucking thing out in your head, you're just lying to yourself. You're just lying to yourself. This is not real. Nothing is real. Your deactivations are not real. Everything's done by AI. DoorDash doesn't exist, man. You guys are believing in an illusion, which is why my book is called Full Dash Closure: Awakening from the Human Exploitation of DoorDash Singularity. That means in DoorDash Singularity, you rubes can't tell the difference between AI and a boss or a dispatcher that's telling them where to go. So they're believing the truth from AI, which is a manipulative lie called app slavery. Why do they not like the term called app slavery? Because it's the truth. And the truth hurts really, really bad, Robert. The truth of app colonization and app slavery and labor laundering and money laundering and international crime rings and lying and cult behavior with Pedro. This is all real stuff. Right? This is not a figment of anybody's imagination. You can't call a normal person a cult leader. A normal person doesn't talk like Pedro and go like, we're going to educate the gig economy, but it's not going to be you. It's going to be me. And you will work for me. Like, no sane person has ever done that video. No sane person has ever made a video like Pedro Charles Manson Santiago. None.
Hold up. Every time. Hold up. Every time you guys change his name and throw some character in that I think is hilarious. I've been trying to hold myself from laughing every time you call him that, and it is hilarious. I get it all the way. That is hilarious. Can I ask you something here? Because you talked about, DoorDash being AI, and a lot of people don't know that it's just one giant room that you got some ITs in there just trying to make sure there's no downtime and things up there. All they're doing is looking at a giant wall that has colors on it. That's
I got a little secret for you.
That's all that's going.
They don't control it. DoorDash does not control it.
Yeah, they don't control it. The AI does.
Right.
The AI does.
Because we just had more proof last week. See, the problem is I see through all their bullshit. So I'm a dangerous guy. I'm a very, very dangerous guy to DoorDash. So last week, some of you may remember the news story about Aaron, Uber Lyft Phoenix, who had $1,700 of wages stolen from him by DoorDash when they illegally deactivated him. Well, they deactivated him. There's no rules, but they deactivated him allegedly for reporting closed restaurants. Well, I know for a fact, because it's in the DoorDash engineering blog and in my book, that DoorDash sends drivers to closed restaurants as part of their algorithmic wage discrimination and AI. So they intentionally send drivers to closed restaurants and then deactivate them and steal their $1,700. That's pretty wild, Robert. That's a hell of a sequence of events right there. Now, what happened last week after months, this must have been 7-8 months ago that Aaron had his wages stolen by DoorDash and he was deactivated. So he did a video like, hey, they reactivated me. Like I got my Dasher app back and there's $1,700 in there. So you know why that happened? You know why that happened? Because DoorDash doesn't have $1,700. DoorDash doesn't know him. DoorDash doesn't exist. Some third party that manages DoorDash payroll and that side of the business has no way to cut that man a check for $1,700. There's no way to do it. That $1,700 is trapped in the cyber world of AI. It's not even real. You see what I'm saying, Robert? That's like a game score.
Yeah.
The only way they can give him back the game score is if they give him back the game. But they gave him back the game for like 24 hours. And then before he could get his $1,700 out, I don't know why he didn't take it out like the split second they gave him the app. They deactivated him again, so the $1,700 is gone. So do you see what's happening here? This isn't the world where you have a bank. This isn't the world where you earned credit in terms of money. This is DoorDash playing you, and they might pay you off for your game score. They might not. And if they don't, what's your recourse? I don't know. Ask Aaron. He's still out $1,700 that he worked for, which is what, 100 hours of work or something? He got fucked out of 100 hours of work. And so this is what DoorDash does. So if you guys think, so who's the confused person? Dashwagon was confused. Dashwagon, if you think this is about Pedro, Glitch Dash, Carlos Manson, Santiago, or Flex, or any, or even DoorDash, or even Dad Dash, the leaker. If you think this is about any of the low-level street criminals, like the dipshits that make GigTube content, you're just wrong. Nobody cares about them, dude. Nobody cares. DoorDash is owned by BlackRock. BlackRock. You're a slave of BlackRock, dude. BlackRock and SoftBank and Saudi Arabia and Chinese money and Japanese billionaire money, and Tony Hsiu's billionaire money, and Stanley Tang's and Andy Fang's billionaire money. That's who owns DoorDash. That's who is enslaving you. And that's who's making you think that your cult leader's being attacked. And so now you want to attack Robert because they're attacking the guy that you identified with. You identified with Pedro because he gave you positivity, brother. He gave you positivity. Now he gave you positivity like James Jones gave positivity in Jamestown before he killed all his people with Kool-Aid. That's the positivity that Pedro sells. It's cult positivity that will make you do things that are not in your best interest. Now, who else makes you do things not in your best interest? An AI system called DoorDash, which is a glitch. The Dasher app is a glitch. The glitch is the Dasher app. So don't divide the glitch. You can't divide this pie. This is not a divisible pie. They can't take the glitch out because there is no glitch. They'd have to shut the game down, dude. You can't take the glitch out of the one-armed bandit at the casino. It's a slot machine. You can't go to the pit boss and go, hey, Pedro. Oh, yeah, because Pedro was in the gambling industry. Pedro's a career gambling and, whatever industry guy, right? So you can't go to the pit boss named Pedro Dipshit Santiago. You can't go to Pedro Dipshit Santiago, the pit boss in the casino, and go, hey, man, I want to change the odds on the machine. He'll be like, no, man, that's either set by the gambling commission before we rig it, or we just rig it and tell the gambling commission we did it, but we're rigging the game. So you can't go to the pit boss and tell them they're rigging the game because the game's rigged, right? You can't choose your own lines of the slot machine. That's what this is, man. So you guys are getting lost. You're getting lost in a cult of personality. You're getting lost in the fact that there are GigTubers broadcasting lies to you. They don't matter. Everybody that lies to you does not matter, right? They're not making your life better. They're not giving you useful information. They might be funny. They might provide drama. They might have Jesus hair and a flesh mask on a robot. They might fuck unicorns. They might bang unicorns. We have no idea what they do, but none of it is real. None of it is real because it's in a glitch world. DoorDash is a glitch world. It's a game world. This is breaking the illusion. That's what Robert's trying to do with this newscast, man. He's trying to wake you up. He's trying to tell you the truth and wake you up. And if you can't see the truth, you can't save yourself, brother. Fucking hate me. I don't care. Make some fucking t-shirts named I Hate Jeff Thomas Black, and I will buy one from you. Just like I bought a Glitch Dash t-shirt from that fascist piece of shit called, what was he called? The Driven Dad, who said he gave my money to Jews for Jesus because he's a bigoted piece of shit too. So these fuckers that are hatred-filled, racists and bigots and shit stains of humanity, they're telling you they have the truth. Make them prove it, man. Make them prove it. Make them prove it. I can prove it. Can they prove it? Prove it, man. Prove it. Prove it, Robert.
I got a question for you, Jeff. Now, Thomas Schubeck, this is going to be a question also that I'm going to ask you. You guys are both in the same game. So in the same game, I got to give you guys both the same question. Thomas, don't answer it now. Be prepared. Be prepared to answer this on Friday. Okay. Now that the glitch is here, it's been exposed, it's out there. Now there was the rideshare guy or the rideshare professor. I think it was the rideshare guy. He interviewed Tony Schuh, but he's friends with the rideshare professor, or they might be the same account or something else like that. But they know each other. Okay. So since Tony Schuh is that close to do interviews with them, and the rideshare professor has already then did a video about the glitch and all of the other things that go on there. Since it's that close to Tony Schuh, and we all know that it is that close, people, you just gotta put connections together and see what it is. With this pressure being put out there, because Glitch Dash is glitching every single day nonstop. He's glitching on camera nonstop every day. With Tony Schuh knowing about it, what do you think DoorDash is going to do since the pressure is being put on them this way?
Well, so Robert, I'm clicking over to your chat here because I want to enter a link in the chat real quick.
Yep, go ahead.
I did a full broadcast of, let's see, hold on one second because I can't think and talk at the same time here. My top channel for news is Hot Facts. So here's something funny that you guys will love. This is a writer's problem. I wear the nubs off my keyboard and then I can't find the home screen anymore because I write so much. I wear the nubs off so I go through keyboards. Okay, hot. This is a problem for me right now because I'm not at a real desk because I'm in a garage. But okay, so Hot Facts with Robert Reese. Look, Hot Facts with Robert Reese is live right now. Right now. Look at that. Look at that. Live. Some old fat guy on TV. So here's one of the other things, Robert, that I love. And you know, I think you're a dad, Robert, right? Are you dad?
Yep.
Okay. So here's my theory. If you can't laugh at yourself constantly and every day, you're a shitty parent. That's my theory. If you have that, that you can't laugh at yourself and know that you're a joke and life is a joke and this is all a joke, then you're going to be a shitty parent. Pedro is a shitty parent. Pedro is a fucking psychopath. God knows how many babies that guy has with how many women. I've gotten lots of tips and I don't pay any attention to that stuff because I don't care what kind of a scumbag Pedro is in his personal life. I care what kind of a scumbag Pedro is in his public life. I have no problem with Pedro. I spent a year complimenting Pedro. I spent a year telling Pedro that I thought he was doing some things good and he could do some things better. I also said the same thing to Torp. I told Torp, when I met Torp, I said, hey, buddy, you're wrong. Why don't you come on and let me talk to you and teach you about some things you don't know yet? And so he did. But Torp and I don't hate each other because we had different understandings of the world. We talked it out, man. And now, guess what happened to Torp? Guess what happened? He woke up. He woke up to the fact that DoorDash is a glitch. The Dasher app is a glitch. It's all a gamified game. Stop thinking of it as a cell phone and think of it as a slot machine. If you start thinking of DoorDash as a slot machine, you're going to have the idea. So if you want to go out and play the slot machine, do it. But just know you're gambling. That's the only thing I've ever said. I may or may not put DoorDash out of business. I will put DoorDash out of business. But it's not because of me. It's because I'm telling everybody what it is. It's a slot machine. And so when the people that want work realize that they're playing a slot machine and gambling with their time and losing most often instead of working, they're just not going to do it anymore, man. That's the threat. See, it's not about me identifying any bad actor in the community or anything else, because it doesn't matter. I'm not the leader here. In fact, look, man, I guess Dad Dash was your leader because he's the leak of the glitch. Like, Dad Dash is your leader. If you want a leader, Dad Dash took the lead. He leaked it to a writer who then leaked it on his behalf because I wanted to make myself the target because I liked the guy. And I thought, well, he's got a family. I don't want to get the guy threatened and cause trouble in his life. Like, I keep confidential sources. So he leaked it to me and I leaked it. And I told people, hey, there were multiple sources. So people couldn't even think, oh, there was just one source that gave it to me. But there was one source that gave it to me, right? A guy who introduced himself into my life. I didn't find him. He found me. Now, why did he find me? We can only guess. I've got some pretty good ideas. I've got some pretty freaking good guesses now because he revealed himself yesterday as a bad actor. And he's been a bad actor all along. People don't just flip overnight and start telling a new story about the last year of life in which they had a relationship with you. That does not, guy in the garage is shutting down Dad Dash for sure. Well, sure, I got proof. I got proof he's the leak. So if he's running around telling people he's the good guy and he's Deep Throat, I mean, you guys figure it out, dude. I'm not the leader. I'm not the guy. I'm not the 100,000 strong gig workers on YouTube right now that are running around with pitchforks and torches because they've been lied to. I ain't been lied to. I never believed their lies. You guys did. You guys are the victims. And Thomas Schubeck represents the victims. Thomas Schubeck represents the victims of Pedro Bot and Mr. Flex and Dad Dash and everybody else that was fleeced and lied to. When I was on here telling you this is all a game, don't believe anything, they attacked me and they're attacking me now. Why? Because it's the truth. Dude, I'm nobody. Why would they be attacking me if I didn't have the truth? If I didn't have the truth, they would just ignore me. But they can't. They can't, which is sad, Robert. They can't ignore me. Because you know why?
Yeah, sad. Well,
Robert,
sad, like they can't ignore you. Go ahead. No, we got some trolls in here. We got some trolls in here.
Oh yeah, we do. Because look, that's all they have.
Upstate Drifter.
All they have.
Can my moderators, if you are here, I just checked out my head moderator and one of my managing moderators is my wife. I just checked out Upstate Drifter. Looks like someone that might be from New Jersey right here. He just made a comment saying, he just said that if this can't be real, if it's real, it wouldn't be on live TV. All of this other stuff. Upstate Drifter, when you make comments like that, here is where I break you down here. What part is not real? The fact that Dad Dash was explaining and gave him, and he has all the transactions, he has the transcripts. Is that part not real? What part is not real? Is it the part that DoorDash is ran by AI? Is that part not real? You have to when you make a comment like that, you have to put in your comment what part is not real so we can speak on that specific part. If not, you're just a troll just trying to make random statements out there, and that's all you're doing. So please specify what part of whatever else it is not real that is coming from this gentleman's mouth. That would be able to help me understand you and break you down, put you in your place, or let you slide. But you just can't come in here just talking wild like that. It says that you've been here since January 21st, no subscribers, no videos. So I can do the work right now if you want me to, or do he says not trolling, bud. We'll figure it out. And if you are a troll, I have control over my show. I don't want to have you guys spamming the chat and putting up weird stuff. If I see anything like that, you start talking crazy nonsense, I'll just boot you out. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time. This is not like the lounge or any of these other channels that you go on where it's chaos and confusion in the chats. That's not going on here. So if you are a troll, Hot Facts with Robert Reese is a bad channel for you to go on. I'm going to make you have to make new accounts all damn day. And you won't get anything done. And then you won't be able to talk about DoorDash. And if you do, you're lying because we know you're glitching the whole time. Now, continue, Jeff.
Yeah, so that's absolutely true. So somebody took umbrage to the fact that I'm ripping Pedro apart, but Pedro is the one that brings his girlfriend and his child and his wholesome life and his St. Louis hood and all this stuff into his broadcasting for his cult, right? So Pedro has made himself a cult of personality, and then this cult of personality, when they say Pedro destroyed by his own lies and facts, they don't want to believe the cult of personality. They want to say it's my fault and Robert's fault for being a big meanie pants, that Pedro is a piece of shit. Well, you know, this happened in my corporate world too, right? So I would get, I didn't play games. I don't like to do that. So when somebody sexually harassed somebody in my organization, I summarily disposed of them with great prejudice. And people would run around going, you know, Jeff Black's a big meanie pants. And I would call them on the phone and say, I am not a big meanie pants, sir. You got yourself fired, motherfucker. So yeah, keep my name out of your mouth, right? And so that's Pedro. I'm not the big meanie pants. I'm not the big meanie pants. Dad Dash outed Dad Dash. Pedro outed Pedro. Flex outed Flex as a bigot. Cherry outed himself as a bigot. What the hell are you holding me responsible for their crazy words for? I mean, you can. I think it's funny. I'm not going to take you with any seriousness, but that's the way it goes. Now, in terms of Pedro Bot and Hannibal is Thirsty, so their broadcast the other night, they told you a blatant lie that we can prove right now. If somebody would like to put a link to full-closure.com in the full-closure.com in the chat, they will see that the book that Pedro said I've been writing for 20 years, that's a quote from Psychotic Pedro, that I've been writing this book for 20 years and it's not a real book. Well, you certainly can't read like 20,000 words online of the book that I published for you freely. And actually the first 3 chapters are on audiobook, so you certainly can't listen to it in your car as soon as this broadcast is over and hear the audiobook. And you certainly can't read my stories about civil rights and about police murder and about minimum wage and about labor. You cannot put Jeff Thomas Black in Google and find that I've been a civil rights writer for the last 15 years, right? You can't do that. So Pedro was telling you the truth on his broadcast with Hannibal is Thirsty. And by the way, they didn't say my name, which tells you how scared of me they should be and are, right? They didn't say their name. They said there's a writer who claims he's a writer who's not a real writer. I'm not. You can ask anyone. Not a real writer. So I'm not a real writer. It's not a real book. It's not a real podcast. They're not real words. And actually, Hot Facts with Robert Reese is not really here broadcasting right now with you, and neither am I. Right, Robert?
Right. I'm not here. Someone just asked, why would you want to shut down? Yeah. Someone said, why would you want to shut down DoorDash? It's going to take a source of income away from people.
No, slavery is not income, dude. Gamblified wage loss is not income. What income does Aaron of Uberlift Phoenix earn from losing $1,700 to wage theft? What income are the people who are unjustly deactivated from DoorDash every day? What income are they earning? And so I laugh. People are like, well, you could get deactivated for the glitch. I'm like, what? You're not getting deactivated unfairly in the masses every single day? You're going to be scared of features in the app that they want to scare you from using because they don't want you to win? You're not the winner. You're supposed to lose, man. Torp and the losers. Torp's supposed to lose. I'm supposed to lose. Robert's supposed to lose. We're supposed to be the losers, man. The winners had a game. They had a game going. It was a great fucking game, and we're ruining it. We're ruining their game. We're ruining their casino. Tony's casino, Pedro's casino, Dad Dash's casino, Steve Johnson's casino with Bright Girodo. How many podcasts does that motherfucker broadcast? What is that guy? Is that motherfucker on with every single gig tuber? He was at the con gig in Denver, pretending like he was a leader. That should have been my. I fucked up. I gotta admit that should have been my clue that Steve Johnson was a piece of shit when he had that thing, because he was linked up with Pedro, right? Pedro's shit show was Friday and Steve's show was Saturday. Now, Steve's show actually had some content, and I complimented it because I'm a genuine guy. If I like something, even if I don't, well, I liked Steve at that time. I didn't know he was a flip-flopping trader. So if I like you, I'm going to compliment you. If I think you're wrong, I'll probably say something respectful and say, I think you're incorrect here. DoorDash is a game, and none of this means anything, right? That's the kind of comments I make. And you can go back, Robert. Anybody can go back into Pedro's chat logs from his broadcast over the last year and see my comments. None of them will be trolling. All of them will be substantive. They will just be me telling Pedro, hey, Pedro, You're telling people about this stuff and you're incorrect. Now, Pedro didn't like me telling people they were incorrect. He was incorrect in his chat. Who would? But, you know, what am I supposed to say? If somebody's incorrect, I'm going to call them incorrect. I'm a writer. I don't have a fucking, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm into the truth, man. I'm a civil rights writer. The only thing that matters to me is truth. I don't care who it hurts or whatever. So when these guys gave up the glitch, right? Dad Dash gave up the glitch. The first thing Flex and his other organized criminals said is, you're taking money out of families' mouths. Well, whose families? The crime families. You're taking money out of the crime families' mouth. You're not taking money out of Robert Reese's mouth. You're not taking money out of my mouth. You're not taking money out of them. Now, they were taking money from Thomas Schubeck, and Thomas Schubeck's a little bit pissed off about it. You might go to his Glitch Dash channel and witness how pissed off Thomas Schubeck is about being fleeced by these motherfuckers for so long, right? He's angry, and he should be angry. And so, who are your leaders? I mean, I guess who are your leaders? I certainly know I'm not the leader, right? I wrote that in my book from day one. You guys are the leaders. I can't lead a revolution. You can. Only the people can lead the revolution, and you guys are already doing it, which is why they already lost, which is a fact. I'm telling you, you already won. They already lost. This is just the shouting, right? I know how this stuff works. I've done this many times before. And fraud does not last, right? They don't have facts and proof, so they are completely and totally vulnerable to everything and anything we do. They lose. I've got a straight flush, okay? I've got the nuts. You ever play poker? I got the nuts. So they can push in, they can bluff all they want. Guess what? I'm going all in. I got the nuts, man. It ain't no biggie. I got the nuts, man. You go all in. I know you got a full house. Yeah, I got a royal flush. I got a royal flush. You got a full house. Cool. And the better hand these idiots think they have, the more they shove in. The better hand the dipshits think they have, the more they shove in. So they're shoving everything in because they're desperate. They're losing, and they think they can maybe get back in the game if they defeat me. Yeah. Well, that's a fucking bad plan. That's what bad planning feels like. One of my favorite movies is Rancho Deluxe, and there's a quote in there that all organized crime is an inside job, and that's how we know Dad Dash and Steve Johnson and Pedro Bot and Hannibal is Thirsty and all these people. That's how we know they're an organized crime ring, because it's all an inside job. It's always an inside job. That's why Dad Dash leaked the glitch to me, because Dad Dash is on the inside of the crime ring. It's an inside job. Watch Rancho Deluxe, man. The whole movie's about teaching you that organized crime is an inside job. And so Dad Dash performed the act of leaking the glitch and then demonizing the person he leaked the glitch to, which would be me. But see, the problem is you can't intimidate a guy that's been doing this for 20 years and can't be intimidated, right? They chose unwisely because they're not very bright. They're mean, but they're dumb. Right, which is usually the case with criminals. They're generally very, very mean people, but they're also very dumb.
Hey, Jeff, can you hear me by any chance?
Yes, I can now. I can hear you right now.
Okay, you can hear me now? Okay, I'm trying to figure out, because on my screen, I just see me, and I wasn't able to hear at first. Now I see me and you. When I'm looking on, okay, now it's popping up there. All right.
To my knowledge,
go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Inspector Colombo says Dad Dash 40 new subscribers in less than 24. So look, let me make this clear again. Dad Dash doesn't matter. Pedro doesn't matter. Flex doesn't matter. None of these people matter. All of these people are people you never have to look at again. You can just unsubscribe to their channels because they have nothing to offer you. We already are proving to you right here on the news channel of the gig economy with Robert Reese that none of these people do now or ever had any truth to share with you. That's what the glitch is about. That's why they want to make it personal, because if they make it personal, then you're not thinking with your head about the fact that you're playing a gambling game in Pedro's casino. And I'm waking you up. Robert is waking you up. Wake up. Wake up, world. Wake up. This is the first and best AI scam in the history of the world, and it's foisted upon you, the most vulnerable workers in the world, right before Labor Day 2023. So if I were you, I would celebrate Labor Day with what I call the log outage, which is I would delete DoorDash off your phone. That's what I would do. And I would never use DoorDash again. Use other things in the gig economy. Use Grubhub, Uber Eats. I don't even care what you use. But I would never, ever, ever, ever take a single order from DoorDash again. I would delete it off my phone. I did it on the internet the other night. None of you should trust DoorDash. It's called Black Box AI. It makes the output of DoorDash. What comes out of here is content that is equivalent to the word of God. They are the omnipotent. They know where you are. They know what you think. They know what you're going to do next better than you do. Now, do they want me to tell that truth? No, they'd rather see me dead than tell that truth, because this is billions of dollars in 27 nations. Billions. If you think this is like a fucking gig tube thing, no, this is 60 Minutes, my brother. This is going to 60 Minutes. This is World Labor News. This is the World Labor Revolution before Labor Day in the gig economy. That's what this is, Robert.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The information man show is here. Good to see you again. Thank you for that shout out again that you did on your channel. I loved it. He's learning some more stuff. People, he said himself he's gonna watch so that he can talk to his community about what goes on over here. And I'm glad he is here, because people, you got to understand, the more people know, some people say, oh, it's going to get worse. The more people know, the better it can become. All right. If something is, if it's working like trash, and, people are out there protesting and things like that, you got to understand that when people protest, typically they know something. That's why they're protesting. They're not protesting just to get out there, just to do it for no reason at all. So the more people that know about what's going on, the better it's going to be. This information, I saw some people earlier speaking in the chat, it is not here to deter drivers away from doing anything. What it is, it's all the way full transparency for any driver out there who may want to know deeper than just what's on the surface. You know what I mean? If I know everything, I can actually say, well, you don't know what? I'll give it a try. If, at least give it a try. But once you figure out what someone, oh, that's exactly what's happening, and you don't like that, maybe you may not want to use the app. But this is not a deterrent from anyone to use specific apps. This is to give a wake-up call about specific apps that are out there. A lot of you guys don't even know, like at your W-2s, there's a lot of W-2s you work for that their money is involved with killing kids and things like that. What I mean by killing kids, I mean like doing one good thing to help them, like curing cataract blindness in kids in third world countries, but at the same time they're injecting these kids with needles and trying to say that they're trying to make them healthier. But population control shows that why are all these kids dying in all these areas? But the money is being funded by a place that you work for. A lot of you guys don't understand, that's corrupt in itself. A lot of you guys don't understand the messages that are going out there. He's not putting out a bad message. He's not putting out hate speech. He ain't doing any of that. What he's doing is speaking his mind, and he's using what we have, a constitutional right, to speak freely and to give you guys a little bit of something. And DoorDash Rick says it's an awakening of reality. And that's all right. It is. Like, you have to know some things that are out there. You ain't going to have a kid. You live in a country your whole life, and all of a sudden, you guys move to like a city area, and they're grown up to where they can drive by themselves, and you just say, here, go ahead and live. You don't do that. You don't do that. You move to that area first. The kid still lives with you. You go scout around, learn about what's going on, what areas not to go to in the city and all of that. And then you prep him, and then he goes and lives. You just don't just go drop him off someplace and do it like that. That's not how it works. You need information, people. Now, what I want to do with you, Jeff, right now, I'm gonna give you final words. And your final words, the floor is yours. I'm gonna let you go on for you got 5 minutes of floor time right now for your final words, final message for everyone out there before we shut this thing on down, man. Because hey, we gotta go out there, and I gotta get my Walmart Spark in and stuff. So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes straight of your final words. Use that 5 minutes and do however you want to do with it. When you are done, just give me a thumbs up or something, and I'll just hop on in and go from there. Floor is yours, sir.
So here's my request for my final 5 minutes of my time with Robert Reese on this news channel and this tremendous. I mean, thank you, Robert, for inviting me to do this morning. As you know, I was too tired to do it and I didn't want to do it, but I ain't going to say no to you, man. And I knew that today was the morning that we had to speak some truth, man. I knew the morning. This was the time. I don't plan anything. Does it look like I shaved for this or like prepared, man? Robert said, let's talk in 15 minutes. And I said, all right, man, I ain't going to say no. Let's go. I'm tired. And in fact, if I'm lying about that, Robert can show you the chat because that's how facts work, right? Because it's fucking real. I'm not making shit up to tell you a story on the internet. For fuck's sake, I'm a 55-year-old guy. You think I'm going to waste my life doing this SFNTB Melissa dad dash? You think I'm going to waste my life on this because I care about some dipshits on YouTube? Are you fucking kidding me? Once again, I did 5,521 deliveries. I never made a GigTube video. I've never tried to sell you guys fucking anything. I've never asked you for money. Never done a goddamn thing except for just teach you about what I've learned. So fucking hate me. My God, do you think I care? You guys have to be probably the dumbest bunch of motherfuckers I have ever seen. And I dealt with police. Police are the dumbest bunch of motherfuckers I've ever seen. You guys are as dumb as cops. I've been. That's an insult from Jeff Thomas Black. Let me tell you, I just insulted the fuck out of you. Okay. So, so the final thing I want to do is I'd like to ask if Robert would maybe take 2 of the best questions from the audience and let me answer 2 questions, please.
All right. Here, let's pick, I think I'm gonna start. You know what? I'm glad you did that. I have never had a guest ask me to do that for him. I'm gonna do that. And I think how I'm on one of these times, I think how I'm gonna include my wife into the live a little more. I'm gonna have her read the questions while I'm here, and then so she can be my Vanna White. You know what I mean? She can be my Vanna White, and knocking it off right here. So let me go ahead and look at some questions here. Let me see. Let me go to all chat filter. Let's go to all messages here. I want to find one that someone is not being stupid. Oh, Columbo just said, wouldn't it make more sense to go after pharmaceutical companies instead? He just put that up.
Yeah, no, it would not.
Instead of DoorDash. I want you to answer that.
Yeah, it would not, because my name is Jeff Thomas Black. I'm a civil rights writer who was born in Salem, Oregon. I'm 55 years old with 2 grown kids, and I'm an economist. I have a master's in business from Duke University, one of the top business schools in the world. And as a civil rights activist and economist, I'm on kind of a unique animal. Most economists are kind of right-wingers and kind of follow more of traditional monetary theory. I look at it with more of an open mind, so I'm able to tell the future where other people are lying to you. So I have a history of doing that because I'm an economist. I'm actually an academic, a professional, a person that has education and credibility and proven work. And so the answer to that is I don't work in the pharmaceutical industry, Inspector Columbo. I was a gig worker for 2 years during the pandemic. And because I care about humanity, when I saw the existential threat, and by existential mean it could kill all of humanity. When I saw the existential threat of DoorDash, I realized that I had to, it wasn't my choice, that I had to tell people the truth that I had learned, and I had to learn more truth on that way so that I could help people save their kids from a future of being a gig worker and an app slave. And they don't like that word app slave, so that means you guys got to use it more because you are app slave. I was an app slave. We're all app slaves in DoorDash. Now, if you have some modicum of independence, maybe you're not an app slave, but you have to decide that. And what Robert told you, I'm just going to add a term for what Robert told you a minute ago, which is informed consent. If you choose to use DoorDash against my best advice, but I don't tell you what to do. If you choose to use DoorDash and play a gamblified rigged game, then play it with informed consent from Jeff Thomas Black and Robert Reese and Brian DoorDash Sucks and Thomas Schubeck. Play it with the knowledge of how the game works so you're not the rube. Because you're either winning or you're losing, man. And I'm not saying you can even win with this glitch. This is not magic. And so they want to provide all this FUD, all this fear, uncertainty, and doubt to keep you from playing the game. But remember, you're already losing the game. You could get deactivated on any given order just for going to a closed restaurant. They could be setting you up to get deactivated. They could be setting you up to get deactivated when somebody steals a meal. Remember, any fraud that happens gets blamed on the driver. right? And so a lot of the videos that the dipshits have been doing are how to avoid fraud. So you're an independent contractor and your job is to avoid fraud with the DoorDash app. That's a big fucking job because you can't. It's all a fraudulent scheme, right? The ghost restaurants, the gamblified rigged stuff, the unsolvable equations that they send to you as alleged offers. Like however stupid you are, trolls like SFNT Minister Dad Dash or whatever the fuck, however stupid you are, like nobody's that stupid. So I don't believe you anymore. I don't believe the trolls. I believe you're being intentionally ignorant. I believe you're ignoring the facts. I believe you're trying to make this about people when it's about DoorDash. And I'm not going to let you make it about people because I don't care about the people. Robert doesn't care about the people. These are just low-level street criminals. That's what Pedro and all these scumbags are. That's what Dad Dash is. These are the bad actors. So let the bad actors be bad actors. I'm not a cop. They can be bad actors all they want. But look, just have informed consent. If you want to go watch bad actors, then just know they're bad actors. I wouldn't take their advice. Like, you can watch their bad acting, but I certainly wouldn't take their advice. So I hope I answered that question fairly, Robert.
Yeah. Yes, you did. And the funniest thing is my wife filled in some of the words that you said. She said like she finished the sentence with you, a few times there. So you're all the way rock solid over here. Next question. Are they saying DoorDash is holding an unfair economic monopoly?
Yes, absolutely. This is the world monopoly on app slavery. They have 65% of the world monopoly on app slavery, and their goal is to use this app for dictators and despots and corporations because anyone could use this app to enslave an entire workforce, an entire country, an entire group of dashers. That's what this is. This is corporate AI enslavement. And that's why I wrote this book. And that's why they'd rather have me dead than this information out, because this ruins a big fucking party. The corporate AI party is a big fucking party. And Jeff Black, once again, is the no fun guy. I'm the no fun guy, Robert. I'm the no fun guy. I'm not fun. I'm a really fucking nice guy, but I'm no fun.
All right. I got another one from TFT. Okay. I think this one is for you, but if not, I know you can answer this. I have a quick question. Why would you want someone who is earning a better living that their normal ability, it says, someone earning a better living that their normal ability to stop making more money to better their life. I guess what he's saying is if someone is making more money than what they were making before, why would you want them to stop making the money that's helping them have a better life?
So that's a couple kind of traps. Number one, when they're making more money than they are before, if they were making zero, is not 1 penny or 2 pennies more than they were making before, Robert? It is, right? 1 penny is more than zero, 2 pennies is more than one. So this is very much like lesser evil. When they're telling you I'm doing better than before and before was zero, well, then the standard is very low, Robert. So this is another psyop. This is another misdirection and double talk into making, I'm an idiot, full-blown imbecile here. Yes, you are, S17, but it's intentional. I know you're smarter than that because you wouldn't be trolling us if you were that big of an idiot. You would be saying something of substance. Now, I understand what you are trying to do, Jeff. I just don't see it working its way bigger. Upstate Drifter. Am I not telling you this is a worldwide global app slave conspiracy in 27 countries? How much bigger are you asserting that it is other than I am asserting? I'm very confused by you because DoorDash works at the national governmental level. DoorDash will buy off politicians with hundreds of millions of dollars to get their app slavery campaign. So what exactly, could you clarify, please, Upstate Drifter, what is bigger than I'm telling you about DoorDash? Please, I would like Upstate Drifter to make the next comment.
Yes, while he's gonna make that comment,
okay, so Upstate Drifter agrees with me.
I got one for you myself. When he gets his Upstate Drifter, I'm in this one. I tagged myself in. I hopped in. I'm playing Vince McMahon right now, so I'm in. My question is, now that you have uncovered and brought out the red pages that I would say and use in my words, the exposure of DoorDash to the heat meaning the people watching, the public out there. after you have done this, what do you expect this gentleman to do back to you? I mean, I have no idea. This is between you and him, but do you think he's going to come at you with a video? He's going to go live? Do you think he'll go on the lounge and talk about you? Do you think he's going to say that you made it all up? And what do you think is going to happen now that you brought this information out?
Who are we talking about? I don't understand. I don't know who you're asking about. Who's going to come at me?
Oh, Dad Dash. I'm asking about Dad Dash.
I don't. It's irrelevant. I mean, I'm done with it. I wouldn't pay any attention. Why would I pay any attention to somebody that gaslighted and lied to me? I don't understand. Okay. So I don't really understand the question because he's already shown me who he is. So I'm done using him. I used him. He didn't use me. Right. Okay. That's not clear. Right. So I was keeping his confidential leak until he flipped on me and lied to the people. And then I showed the people the truth, as Robert has in a photo, and I assume he'll post at an appropriate time. I give him my full permission to do so. As the news channel of the internet, he can post anything that I send him, and all of you can post anything that I send. I allow you to freely share my work. I don't tell you you're going to have a copyright strike. You want to post my words? Post my words. You want to post my video? Post my video. I'm here to teach, man. I ain't looking to make money off you. I don't give a fuck. Now, what's going to happen, Robert, is not about the dipshits of the corporate cabal. It's not about the dipshits of Dad Dash and Flex and all those guys. We're done with them. We're done with them. This is Labor Day weekend is the end of that other side of the aisle, right? That's what Thomas Schubeck calls it. It's the other side of the aisle. We don't care anymore. I showed you the facts today, Robert, that Dad Dash was the leak. I showed you the facts today that Dad Dash flipped last night. I showed you our conversations about the fact that Dad Dash was a different person prior to last night. So if that's not enough proof to anybody, I just can't help you. I don't have all day to prove everything is true to you because I've got a year and a half of work, all true, that I could prove to you, right? You're going to have to read some of it for yourself or at least listen to my audiobook. I can't spoon feed you. You're adults here, right? And so you need to have what Robert was talking about. You need to have informed consent. If you're going to use a shitty, gamblified, rigged AI system where 7 out of 10 people lose money, so it's app slavery because most people lose. Some people win, just like gambling. A few people win, a few people lie that they won, and most people lose. That's what happens in gambling. Okay, so DoorDash is gambling. It's a slot machine, right? DoorDash is a slot machine that you call independent contractor work because we've been lied to. It's not independent contractor. It never was. They misdefined terms, which is part of the key lie of corporate AI in the industry. So what will happen to DoorDash? You think DoorDash can't be history for us, but it will be history for us, just like Enron, just like Bernie Madoff, just like FTX. Like DoorDash is a global corporate criminal scam that will end. And it will end because the best that they have are the pieces of shit in the GigTube space that have been lying to you. And they put those people in there. They planted those people in there with you because if they cared about you, DoorDash would have educated you about how to be successful at the job. If they cared about you, DoorDash would not have a punitive policy for its gig workers. They wouldn't keep your money. They wouldn't skim your wages. They wouldn't deactivate you for no reason. They wouldn't gaslight you with corporate AI. They wouldn't gamblify their app. They wouldn't give you unsolvable equations as offers. I mean, come on, guys, wake up, wake up. Nobody that cared about you would do that. So what did they do since they're not going to train you? They planted people in the gig community to teach you lies, to teach you that what wasn't real, what was an illusion was real. These were illusions. This is David Copperfield shit, right? Pedro's a magician. These guys are all magicians. They're showing you illusions. They're showing you the illusion of reality TV. It's scripted. It's fake. All of it's fake. DoorDash is fake. All of it's a game. DoorDash is the glitch. The glitch is DoorDash. It's not about people. It's about DoorDash and corporate AI enslaving the world. So no matter how many times they tell you it's about their cult leader who looks like Charles Manson, it's still not. No matter how many times they tell you it's about Dad Dash, who was a nice guy and is now a piece of shit today, it's not. No matter how many times they tell it about, the Flexus de Momo and his racism and bigotry and using slurs and hate speech, it's not about him. It's not about Always Cherry. It's not about the icons of SFNTB Melissa, who is not even a real entity. It's like it's Dad Dash or trolling account or somebody at DoorDash corporate, right? This is disinformation. Do you not understand you are the pawns of a global app slavery campaign? Global, 27 nations, they're able to control people's minds and their workforce. if you want to be that rube, be that rube. Now, if your kids grow up to be that rube, they're probably not even going to live that long, because this will destroy the world. This is the end of employment. That's why the gig economy was created and corporate AI was created. It was to fleece the slaves and the most impoverished workers of the world until their death. DoorDash, BlackRock, SoftBank, they want you dead. They want you dead. And anybody that is supporting them wants you dead. And so DoorDash will die. DoorDash will go the way of Enron and FTX and all the others, get Bernie Madoff, all the other ones. You don't have to believe me, but you can go back and look at my record and find out I've never been wrong about this. But you don't have to believe me, because I'll still be here. I'll still be here when they're gone, and we're going to have a good fucking time. Because I'm having a good fucking time already, Robert. I'm enjoying the shit out of this. I've been working for a year and a half.
Sam Lee says entertainment.
One reason, a year and a half of work to wake up the people and then go on fucking vacation. Because I'm going to go on fucking vacation while you guys take over the world, motherfucker, because that's how I win. I float like a butterfly and sting like a bee, and Pedro ain't never going to catch me, because Pedro's a bitch.
Oh, he gave you a little bit of the greatest of all time, people. He gave you a little bit of the greatest. He finished you off with Ali. Gave you the shuffle. 76 red pills. Your rents will be here. Your rents will be here later on. I do know he's been watching me for a while, you know, and went into some stuff and never stopped. You've been doing a great job. That rents will be there tonight. So you're all the way good. You're putting it there. Great job today, Jeff. Great job today, Jeff. I really appreciate it. For those of you out there who would like to be interviewed and get questions from Hot Facts with Robert Reese, you guys hear how I do them. I have a playlist of a bunch of interviews, and it's all interviews. You can see how they go. Every interview is one-on-one. Okay. I asked the questions. Jeff wanted you guys to be a little bit more interactive. I read some things there. This is how it goes, people. If you are afraid of the hot seat, you won't appear on Hot Facts, because I will ask questions that will dig straight to the truth. And if you are afraid of that, do not come in this booth at all. But this is Hot Facts. I have had just about the who's I have interviewed, and once they saw I was not on their side, they don't want to do a second interview, because they see this next interview, he's going to dive in deep on me. Yes, I will. Not for me. It'll be for the people out there that pay attention and watch you. Okay, that's what I do here on Hot Facts. Stay tuned for this upcoming Friday. I will have Glitch Dash up here with Hot Facts. That will be Friday night. I have questions for him, and you know, we're gonna go about it there. Make sure you guys, if you have forgotten, hit the like button right now. If you have not subscribed, subscribe right now. If you don't know, I put videos up every day, shorts, videos, lives, community posts. You get it here on Hot Facts. If you don't want to watch a full video, I can entertain you in a short, and you'll get it all. Okay, you'll see cash tips, you'll see the real of the real on the inside, breaking it down. You'll see all of that. Don't run from Hot Facts, because I will not run from you. You will see me on your phone. You say you don't watch, but I know you do. I'm 3.6 million strong here on YouTube in about 16 and a half months. I know you're watching, because the facts, they are real and hot. With that being said, people, me and my wife, we out of here. Go ahead, give a little wave. We out of here like Chuck Woolery in 2 and 2. We gone. I'm going to catch y'all later. Click in on Friday. Peace out.